The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, years after zero. It's a great day to be alive. This sports show shall begin immediately following that Twine beat drop that you just heard here on SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Can't thank you all enough for joining us. Obviously, every single Tuesday of the NFL season, when you wake up, it's just a better day.
Oh, yeah.
You know? That walk to the John, you're about to take, just seems like you're a little bit lighter, like you're floating there. It's right. Immediately upon waking up, and even if you lost your bet because you thought the Bills were a complete wagon, and you thought they were going to beat the Titans in Tennessee, and then you had to be forced to remember that Derrick Henry is a human that makes zero sense to anybody on earth. He is faster than the smallest guy. He's more powerful than the biggest guy. Scoring 3 tuds last night on his way to another 2,000-yard season potentially. Being the biggest back we've ever seen. The guy's a stud. He makes no sense. And even after you lost because you bet against that. Ugh. You still feel great while you're taking that shit.
That's right.
You know, the air is just smelling fresher. Yeah. You go and brush your teeth. Oh, I'm hitting every single crack. Wow. It seems like everything's really going well. You hop in the shower, the water is perfect. It's perfect temperature. You drive in because on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, you get a chance to chit-chat with a guy who's the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the NFL. A man who had one of the biggest weekends of all time because after jaunting in for a touchdown in Chicago, he told the city one of the most epic lines we have ever heard on a sports field. And we get to chat with him. I love Tuesdays. Is it Tuesday yet? We ask all week, and now it is officially Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, and this conversation is going to be large.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to dive into it. What will the next book be? Huh? Ooh. I got a fucking bookcase over here where a State Farm thing used to be.
Oh, yeah. Smart.
I put a bookcase in over here. I don't know if you see it. All the books from the book club. You Are the Universe was this past week's book. Wow.
You loved it, John.
Great book.
Science. Hey, me and the other book clubbers, we were talking about how, hey, those first couple, for me, days of reading there, there's pretty thick shit going on in there. Albert Einstein makes an appearance in this particular one. Another guy named Tagore, dude, he fucking shows up. He's talking Albert Einstein. This one was the toughest read by far.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
If you were a new reader or maybe hadn't read in a long time and you had been, traveling through the Aaron Rodgers book club voyage, those first few books, all right, awesome, good stories, easy to tell. This one a little bit more difficult. This was a 10th grade advanced reading level.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This is 11th, 12th, maybe even AP out there. But I can't wait to see what the next book club book is. I hope it's maybe a coloring book.
Yeah, maybe like
Old
pictures.
Yeller or something like that.
No, not Old Yeller.
Why not?
What happened?
Old Yeller's a great book.
Yeah, we don't need that right now.
Maybe
where the red fern grows.
No.
That's a good one. We don't need Marley and me either. I don't know if that's a book. We don't need any of the things that you're about to say. Maybe Homeward Bound.
Oh,
how about Hatchet?
Does Homeward Bound have a book?
Hatchet or Brian's Winter to commemorate the late, great, fallen Gary Paulson, who died last week. Great author.
Rest in peace, Gary.
Rest in peace,
wow,
Gary.
I didn't know that.
I did not know Gary passed away.
Holy shit.
Busted up big time over the weekend.
He wrote my 2 favorite books.
Yeah.
All right, Aton Diggs is here. He is the, the reading aficionado there.
For Hatchet and Brian's Winter, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Hatchet was a great movie, or a great book.
Probably a good movie, too.
It was, yeah. Schmidt got us through the thing we had to do there. It is a great Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Cannot wait to see what the book is, honestly.
Yeah.
I had no idea any of these books existed, obviously. The Giver, I guess I got because we had to do it in high school and had to act like I read it then. But Where Men Win Glory, actually bought the book. We'll actually read that at some point.
There we go.
I think the book club's very cool, but the conversation about what he he did in Chicago is going to be one that's a little bit mightier.
Yeah.
I can't wait to dive into that, but we have to continue to chat about what happened last evening. So not only did A.J. Hawk and myself come to terms on an agreement that we're both going to take the Buffalo Bills -6 in Nashville on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's because what the Buffalo Bills had been going into last night's game was nothing short of a buzzsaw. They had been dominating people ever since they got embarrassed, in their words, against the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1 at home to kick the season off. When the Pittsburgh Steelers did a bunch of different coverages and made Josh Allen's life a little bit more difficult, everybody thought at that point, whoa, do the Bills, what is this all about? Because last year they took another step. Josh Allen continued to get good. He got paid. Do they stink? Ever since that game, they have been dominating NFL football teams, blowing teams out, making them look bad. Maybe a score would be scored, but it wouldn't be really indicative of the story of the entire game with what the Bills have been doing to people. Last night, they did. They continued to be an incredible offensive juggernaut. Josh Allen is going to be so good. He's so large. He seems to have this mentality that he's uber competitive. He doesn't really get rattled that much. Seems like people like him. I love watching him. And Stephon Diggs always seems to be open. I don't know how that happens. I don't know if Jackrabbit,
Jackrabbit Jenkins.
I just feel like the Buffalo Bills offense is going to continue to go. And you even heard people this morning and last night saying, we think the Buffalo Bills are going to be a team in the end. This is coming off a loss on Monday Night Football to the Tennessee Titans, also 4-2, who I don't think anybody's having a conversation about the Titans potentially going in there. But if the Titans team can get Derrick Henry going like they have been. By the way, second halves of games have looked much different for the Tennessee Titans than in the first half of games these last few weeks. And if you haven't been watching the entire game, because maybe you have the Titans game on, and in the first half they look like this, what is this? Like, this is not, and I'm not saying this is every game, but this has happened. Like, oh, I'm not going to watch this game. This is going to be something else. In the second half, they are normally a very different team because Derrick Henry, the human you saw last night, he just wears on him and wears on him and wears on him. And I know that was an idea in theory that was had like in years past, but Ryan Tannehill was still throwing for like 300 and some yards. They were throwing the ball more than they would, and it didn't seem like they were doing. Now it is a real thing. Hey, we are going to feed this guy. He got like 50 million, I think, or 25 million. I forget what it was.
A year, right? 464 or something?
I don't remember what he only 2 years are guaranteed. It's really only a 2-year deal. I forget exactly what it is, but he just got paid. And normally when running backs get paid, right, the big question mark is, will they be able to last to withstand however much? Derrick Henry doesn't seem to be slowing down. Now, we're going into week 7 already? Wow.
I know. Damn.
God.
Slow down.
Jeez, what is going on? Well, we got an extra game.
Extra
game.
Okay,
Yeah. Extra week.
Week 6, really.
Yeah. It's not. But anyways, well, I guess that kind of debunks what I was about to say. It looks like he's not slowing down. Looks like he's only getting better. Ryan Tannehill obviously can do the job. A.J. Brown, if he's not pooping his pants because he's eating at Chipotle, he had a big night last night after that. Julio got hurt again. I'm not sure. This has been a rocky start, it seems like, to the Julio Tennessee Titan era. Hopefully this is not a sign of how things will completely be, but hopefully if they get Julio back in there, with that catch he made, he still has the ability to be unbelievable. Hopefully Taylor Lewan comes back from this concussion. That was very scary. How long was he out for?
Felt like a while.
Yeah, that was an entire commercial break.
Yeah.
Because then at some point you got to think about brain activity, right? If you're out for too long, everything. Because he looked like he was not moving there. Scary as hell. Taylor, hey, T's and P's, pal. T's and P's, Godspeed to Taylor Lewan. That was scary as hell. But that team, if the defense can pick it up, why is anybody talking about the Tennessee Titans maybe making a run? The run game can travel as long as Derrick Henry's healthy. The defense is going to have to figure it out mightily. But they just got to win over the Bills, and the Bills have been ragdolling teams.
Yeah.
But the big conversation is, can the Bills still go? I think yes. But the Titans have gotten overlooked in this entire conversation this morning, I think.
Yeah, the Bills are going to be fine. They're incredibly fun to watch. Like I feel like I feel like we've seen them at least 4 times on primetime already this year, but all of their games are super entertaining. And I think that is the thing with the Titans. Everyone always talks about how much their defense stinks, but they had a couple big stops last night, got some turnovers. And if their offense can play like that, then there's not going to be. I mean, they're going to be competitive with damn near everyone.
Vrabel looks like, and you tweeted this, I think, and it's very real. At all times of the game, he wants to smack somebody right in the fucking mouth.
Yeah. Yep.
Who pissed? Who's talking in his ear? They must be the most annoying, mean person of all time, because he He is literally furious, it seems like, all game. Intense, passionate. And they say, the team will hopefully pick up the identity of the coach. On the offensive side, it feels like they do. You know? Taylor leaves the game, and although he was not in for that last play when Josh Allen was trying to get it because that was the Buffalo Bills team.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Chris Broussard this morning, he was so
long weekend.
Yeah, it has happened to me so many times, but the internet is relentless where you just get one particular little thing wrong where it's on one team and then you go very hard in the paint about that.
Yeah.
And it's whatever the case is. But Taylor Lewan, they still continue to go. And that's an all-pro left tackle. Now he's had to go through a couple injuries, and obviously last night was very scary, but if that offense can continue to operate, I guess with the downsizing of defenses, right, because defenses have kind of gotten smaller, faster. They move around, and you got a guy that's whatever the hell Derrick Henry is.
Alien. 60.
He is an alien.
Mm-hmm.
He should not be 21.8 miles an hour the fastest, I guess, or whatever.
Absurd.
And he's the fastest he's been. He's pulling away from guys that are the most athletic people walking this earth. And he's just pulling away at the size and speed. He's unbelievable. He's been like this, I guess, since high school, though, too, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's been doing this to everybody since high school. The Titans, though, they're early. It was he would have flashes. One primetime game, he'd score like 4 touchdowns, and then somehow nobody would be watching the games, including all of us that are probably listening. And he would have like 45 yards or something.
Yep.
And it was like, what's going on? What's happening? And then allegedly, he and Eddie George had a conversation, and Eddie George convinced him or had a conversation with him that changed his maybe his viewpoint. And then since then, it has been the Derrick Henry, the King Henry show, and he's just continued to go, man. It's a fun team to watch. But to your point about the Bills, it seems like they're just a tough group.
Yeah.
Fly around. I mean, you kick the field goal, you get extra football.
Right.
Like, what are we
You get
doing?
extra football. But also, do you think you could stop Derrick Henry if you lose that coin toss?
Yeah, the way he'd been playing.
With how he had been rolling.
Right.
Like at that point of the game, going into overtime, I don't know if any coach was confident that they could get a stop. I'm not 100% sure if anybody could. So Sean McDermott rolling the dice there. And everybody knows we have had a conversation about analytics on this show. Because we think analytics can definitely paint a picture. Okay? And we're not saying they're all bad, but analytics can also paint a picture that maybe isn't exactly the right one or the real life one that could be potentially happening in the moment. We always wonder how some stats are used and other stats aren't, because for every stat this way, there is probably a stat that can go the other way as well. And I guess the stats, all of the different stat teams were coming out this morning talking about Sean McDermott's decision to go for it on 4th and like a half yard or whatever, as opposed to kicking the gimme field goal for big ball Bass and tying that thing up and getting it to overtime. All the stats are saying that's the right move. Our analytical predictor says that 54% of the time they would win if they were to do that every time, and 46% of the time if they were to kick the field goal and send it to overtime. It's like, okay, stats. Is Derrick Henry on the other fucking sideline in all of those stats?
Yeah.
Has that guy scored? Has somebody on the other team scored 3 touchdowns and has only seemed to get faster and stronger as the game? Is that in there? And I think that is where, the conversation kind of has to take place with all the stats. Not saying that because in this particular case, I agree with the stats, but the people that disagree that are getting these stats thrown in their face, they're also thinking like, tell me when Derrick Henry was on the other side of that, how many numbers that is. Can we break that particular stat down into a tighter stat that there's an alien playing running back on the other side? How many times has that happened? Can we get the percentage on that whole thing? It's a fascinating discussion that is only going to continue to evolve.
Well, and you look at there's no way Josh Allen too. Like you expect him to get that every time.
Bingo,
It's
he's huge. I would, if I'm Sean McDermott, I go for it every single time.
Yeah, for sure. And Josh Allen's not saying like, oh, let's kick the field goal. He's out there saying like, fuck it, let's go for it. I might score on this play, and just one of those things where he slips or whatever, takes a step back. And
that's football.
Yeah, that's football, baby.
Hey, that's going to happen. And
on the road, too.
Hindsight is always
exactly.
A beautiful thing. Speaking of hindsight, we get a chance to do this whenever we talk about, officiating.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
The whole world gets to do this. So every once in a while, we get a chance to chat with a guy who's an absolutely OG in the officiating game. Okay? OG of the OG.
Hell yeah.
A man who is on Fox speaking incredibly handsomely and cleverly. And a guy who comes on this show and I believe explains to us why what we are saying about officials isn't always as accurate or as, properly contexted as it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pereira. What's going on, dude?
Well, you're speaking of bad calls, and Sean McDermott and his call. I'll tell you a bad, stupid fucking call. Just before talking to you, I paid an electrician $100 cash 5 minutes ago to push the reset button on my utility box because I'm not smart enough to push the damn reset button to turn on all the outdoor lights again. $100 5 minutes ago, a waste of money, and now I've got you.
They couldn't just tell you that on the phone? Hey.
No, the guy says, and then he pushed the reset button and he said, normally my fee is $160, but I'll give you a break and only charge you $100. What? You pushed the reset button.
Oh, yeah. Well,
how are you?
Hey, did it get fixed?
Yeah, fixed. Lights are on. Great. It's during the day now, but the lights are on.
Hey, money well spent, though. And next time you'll know that there's just one little button there that you probably just need to take the game out, blow on it, and put it right back in. That's probably.
I'll probably forget again, so that's all right.
Well, don't let them get you for $100. Next time they'll get you for $160. Mike, can't thank you enough for joining us. And it feels like every time you come on, it's like a doctor, right? You never go to a doctor and say, hey, I'm feeling good. All right, see ya, right? You always go and bitch. That's what happens. Like, hey, this is hurting. It's always like, when officials get talked about, it's always bad. These refs have been bad this year, though. Have they been worse than ever, Mike? What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, I think they're more confused than ever. And that's not a good thing. And listen, in some ways, I think they've made progress, but they have, put these expedited reviews, video assistant. They put all these things in places to correct things that happen in real time so you don't have to go to replay. And I think that's a good thing. But on the other hand, I think it's really hurt officiating. There's so much indecisiveness. You see the officials pushing the button on their belt, which allows them to talk to the video assistant upstairs to get his input on things. And I had a conversation this morning with somebody that's very involved in officiating with the league, and it's like nobody wants to officiate anymore. They want to rely on somebody else to give them the input to make the calls. And I think that indecision has hurt the flow of the game just about as badly as replay has hurt the flow of the game. So I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with what I'm seeing because I look back when I was on the field, you had to make the damn call. You had to adjust your flag and put it where it was supposed to be if it was a spot foul. Now you don't have to do that anymore. And I just think that, I'm struggling with that, and I'm struggling with the pass interference. That I feel like there's more and more misses in pass interference that's being made. But I would say to you, the feeling to me over the first full 6 weeks of the season is it hasn't been what it should be.
And what you're saying, I think, would make a lot of sense to a lot of parents that had to potentially teach their kids how to ride a bike. When you take the training wheels off, that's really when you get to learning how to you have to do your own thing. That's kind of what you're thinking, right? Since they have something that they can rely upon, they don't really have to commit themselves as much to officiating, so they're just kind of half-assed.
And let's remember too that these guys, their success or failure is based on evaluation, is based on grades. So if they can get some input to help them to make the right call, then it's certainly beneficial to them. But I just think, Pat, I don't get a good feel for it. I mean, there have been expedited reviews that I love. A miss on the sideline on a catch. That's obviously a miss, and they can jump in and they correct it, and it doesn't have to go to a challenge or a review. I like that. But overall, how
do we fix that?
I just don't like what I'm seeing.
Do we fix that by having only it be a one-way street of conversation from the replayer to the ref, as opposed to the ref asking them the question? Then the reviewer is almost like, hey, I'll just come in and correct when it is due. So then it lowers the expectation of when the conversation should happen?
Pat, to me, it's like instant replay. It's gotten to the point where, to me, it's too involved, but it's like you're never going to go back. It's like player safety things. Or player safety points of emphasis get in, and when they get in, they're not going to take them back. And in this, it's the same way. When you open up this communication, the thing is now this is happening not only in the NFL, but it's happening in college football and it's happening in high school football. Everybody has these O2O communication systems, and that's where the original intent, I liked it. So you wired everybody so they could talk to each other. So if a coach on the sideline said, what did he call on the other side of the field? You could immediately call your guy, get on your system to the guy on the other side of the field, get what he called, give it back immediately to the coach. Great. You could call pass interference downfield, go to the referee and say, I got defensive pass interference, 32 defense, and you wouldn't have to have a conference. The intent was great, but now with New York on the line and everybody on the line, there's conference after conference after conference, and they're pushing that button and talking to more and more people. And while I think the officials themselves are better than officials themselves used to be before, I think the officiating is worse because you've added this new element that is, I don't want to say destroyed it, but to me has hurt it.
Okay, so with everything you just said, by the way, incredible information there, and thank you for it. And I think a lot of people will understand what you're saying, and it'll maybe make a lot more sense for people, even though people aren't going to stop getting pissed off. So how do you fix it, you think? Is there, like, for instance, Walt and I know Walt has been reffing for 70 years in the NFL, and he was great for a long time as a pioneer, has done a lot for the game. He hated me when I played for whatever reason, so I hated him, obviously. Now he's in a position that is, something that I do have to talk about, but he's probably just as confused as you are about the whole thing. And how do we fix it? Is there a way to fix it, you think, or is this just the new normal we're going to have to deal with?
No, I don't think there's a way to fix it. Now, I think maybe there's a way to get better at it. Maybe over time you get better. And he himself has admitted you got to walk through the process. This is new. This video assistant / replay official, these expedited reviews. It's new, but to me, it's added this element of confusion. I'm not so sure I want to be a coach because now I don't even know when to challenge. I mean, do I challenge or do I wait? Do I wait to see if they're going to correct it and not throw the challenge flag? And then I wait, and then there's a pause. It will get better. I think it will get better. And Walt, and Perry Fuel are in the replay center. They're new, so they're kind of working through this too. It takes some time to get used to making fairly quick decisions in replay, like Walt is having to do now in the Art McNally Command Center in New York. So there's a lot of newness that's going on, but you're not going to take away the system. It's not going to happen. It's just more and more now that you're trying to get everything right, even though maybe it destroys the tempo of the game, which I don't like. And by the way, you said Walt Anderson didn't like you on the field?
No.
Is that true?
Yeah, I had a great fun.
Tell me somebody that did.
Oh, whoa. You're right. I
can't think of one. They like you now. They like you now, but they weren't that high on you then.
Well, a little accountability. I just want a little accountability. Yeah. But I feel like I would compliment as well. But I could understand if they thought it was me and John Perry had an incredible interaction down in Jacksonville one time where he spotted a punt out of bounds, because I hit it out of bounds, perfect punt in my eyes, and he took about 5 yards off of my punt, because he did the old point thing, and the next time as we went out for a field goal, I let him know that he probably took food off the plate of my family because of the way he did his entire thing, with different words potentially in there. Sure. John fired right back though. I mean, it was amazing. So I appreciate the officials. I do. I understand that there's a tough job to be had, and in the moment, you have to deal with it all. But whenever you're talking to the person that is replaying, are they on the call with Walt directly, or is there a person for each game, and how is that person decided upon, and where are they? Are they in the Art McNally thing as well?
No, you have your replay official that's at the stadium, so you're in communication with him. And then you are also tied in to the command center, basically to a person that is watching the game. And so then if there is a stoppage or if there is a score, they will bring Walt Anderson over or Wayne Mackey over, and they will look at it to confirm it or to say if it needs to be stopped. And of course there's input that comes from the replay official, but then the referee talks to New York. Everybody's talking. I'd love to hear it. I mean, it'd be great. It would be great television if we could actually hear what was going on.
Mike, how come they just won't do what the XFL did?
Well, I don't listen. I remember when we tried to put conversations with officials on, we thought, let's try it. And this is back in my day. This is back when I was running the program, maybe about 2002 or something like that. and said, let's experiment with it. So we mic'd all the officials. This is before this 020. And we said, we're going to listen to everything you say. So a guy called pass interference on Ed Hockley's crew. And he came up to, threw the flag, came to Hockley, and Hockley said, what do you got? And the official responded, I really don't know. I don't know. I got something, but I don't know exactly what it is. And at that point, I said, experiment over. I do not want this to go out on air to a national audience when your referee asks him, what do you got? And you go, I'm really not sure. I think it might be passing. Well, that's not good.
And somebody's
I'm
watching.
sure there's a lot of conversation that goes on that we probably wouldn't want to hear, period.
I would assume, but the XFL had that Xbox controller, and it was right over the shoulder, and I think I only saw it really used one time, and it might have been the game that I was even a part of because it was pretty cool. And they were talking to the head ref on the field, and was, it looks like, and it's like slow-mo, it was a young person, it was obviously a gamer. Yeah, the ball was out at the 28 or something like that, and then boom, they just moved the ball, and it just worked. I'm like, that seems like that would be a very quick, efficient way. Not that every conversation has to be caught, but at least the person reviewing could just say, hey, this is what it was. We could see why you saw what you saw. But I feel like there has to be a way that we could update all of these things.
And they have taken the step of at least they allow you to show what they're looking at on the replay monitor. So when they're actually the video, when the replay official or New York is talking to the referee, you can actually put that monitor, what they're showing on air. But, you wonder if we won't get to some point. The spring leagues are coming back. The USFL is coming back in the spring of 2022. And I think you may see some transparency there that is even more than you saw in the XFL, which will be kind of fun. And, the NFL, in a way, if they love to let someone else experiment. And if they experiment and they like it, then they may pick it up. So we'll see. But I love transparency. And in a way, I love educating fans. And it's a way really to educate the fan.
Mike, and my last question for you before the boys have some questions. We can't thank you enough for your time. You're always very gracious with us and also make us understand shit that we don't normally do. How come the refs, after a review, they're all very robotic, and I guess because they are a representative of the game, right? When they speak, they are a representative of the game, of the league. They're on a solo shot, international television, like 25 million people, I think, watch Patriots, Cowboys on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Like, they're there. How come there's never just like a moment of, when we watched it live, we thought that this happened. After watching the review, it is evident that this happened instead. Like, I think Sterator did that a couple times. I think Hockley, is that because maybe not the most comfortable orators? Are people told not to be a human out there, be a robot?
Well, I don't think that it's not that they're told not to be human. I mean, I don't like robots. And I mean, I think since, when you think back of the days. I
don't like robots either.
Reg Passion and Jerry Markbright and those type of guys, even Ben Drive, they certainly weren't robots. They showed a lot of individualism when they made their calls. And then under Jerry Seaman, quite frankly, everything got more robotic. Jerry himself, great official and great leader of officiating, but he was very robotic and didn't want really anything said. And then, when I came in, I said, okay, let's make it a little bit more, say a little bit more. But the problem is when you give them that liberty to do that, then you get Ed Hockley, who gives closing statements like he's in court as an attorney over a false start. And so then everybody gets mad, especially the broadcast networks get mad because you don't need a 35-second description of a flinch by a right tackle. So there is a line, and there is in replay, you have to say the ruling on the field stands. If you're not going to change it, if you're going to change it, then you can say why you're changing it. But it's interesting, Pat, because you open up the floodgates, and then you get some guys like Hockley and Sterator that like to talk, and then if you think back, the Ron Winters of the world, who was a really good referee, but he might have been the most boring referee we ever had when he turned on the microphone, but was a really good referee. He was a college professor, And but so I think I like individualism. I don't like robotic signals. I like them relaxed. But when you get to this level, I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you're a referee in the NFL, of the 17, I would say at least 15, it's their identity. It is their ego. It is, they love it. And so, and they're like people on television, like me. They like airtime. And I like them to be relaxed, but we don't see it quite enough.
Oh, man. Okay, so I think there's maybe a little bit deeper can of worms there in the officiating community.
Big time.
Hey, look what you did, Ed. You ruined it for the rest of us.
Come on.
Come on,
Well,
Ed.
I always thought, when you talk about egos, when you get into the league, the union would give you a suitcase, a travel suitcase, because you cannot check your bag. You're not allowed to check your bag on an airplane because for fear of the bag getting lost, then you have no uniform. So you have to take your bag on board. So then you get like, why would you put a bag and why would you put on the bag embroidered NFL ref number 85? Do you want to get on a plane that's departing New York after the Giants had just lost a game on a controversial call, and you walk onto an airplane with your bag saying NFL ref 85? Oh my Lord! But boy, that's the number is the identity. The number is the identity. Your number is locked in gold.
Like
mine.
Shit.
I mean, my number was 77. Well, guess what?
Offensive
My
line.
golf balls are Titleist 77s. I better not tell you my passwords. To all my,
Go ahead.
Seven.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, that electric company that came and hit the reset button, they got to hear that 77777 passcode to get in.
$100 cash.
Oh, so he's not reporting. Yeah, he just got you.
Yep.
Hey, you just got. But hey, shit's working again. That's great news. Go ahead, Ty.
Mike, the biggest thing people were bitching about going into the season was the taunting penalties being a point of emphasis, but it doesn't seem like we've really had much issue with that. But the roughing the passer penalties, is there anything that they can do to kind of change this up? There's been several really ticky-tack calls that are kind of affecting the outcomes of games, and it seems like it's only going to get worse.
Well, let me address the first issue with the taunting thing. Let's remember in week 1 they called 3, in week 2 they called 11, and I think teams got the message that they weren't going to let up on those. I still don't like it personally. I think that it was needed. But it was needed for those prolonged get in an opponent's face. And it morphed into immediately just an instantaneous getting into a guy's face. The officials were told, call it. And the clubs were told, don't put the officials in the position to have to make a decision. So make a play, turn around, celebrate, do whatever you want, but don't do it directed at your opponent. Okay, I get it. But the ones that are so quick, I don't like, but it's turned out to be generally not an issue.
The refs become a fun police there. You know what I mean? The NFL puts them in a spot where they're the fun police.
Do, but I think there's a distinction between the fun, and the taunt. I mean, listen, I duly accepted the role as the president of the No Fun League when I ran the program because I didn't like all the celebration stuff. Well, once they got me out of there, then they opened up the celebrations again. And so there's just saying now, don't celebrate at the expense of your opponent. Turn around, lay on the ground, do push-ups, do sit-ups, do whatever you want. Just don't twerk or whatever they call that thing, which I was never able to do in the first place.
Never would have guessed.
But it's not turned out to be that big of an issue.
And
I think it has helped. I think generally the games have been less chippy. Now, to the roughing the passer, yeah, that's a concern to me. Because it does seem to me that the needle has gone too far in the direction of protecting. And I mean, and even, you look at one particular referee and he's made a couple of calls that to me were not good calls. And so I think they have to look at that. There's nothing, they're not going to get replay involved in something like that, even with the use of the so-called video assistant or sky judge. That's a judgment call, but I do think, though, the needle has.
Isn't
gone
everything a
little
judgment
bit too
call,
far.
though? Isn't everything a judgment call at this point? Holding's a judgment call, right? Isn't it? Because it happens on every play, just when you decide to call it.
Yeah. You'd like to think that there are non-judgmental calls like delay of game, but then they figured out how they could screw that one up.
What happened?
So it's just, it's kind of one of those. Okay, there's one official that's supposed to look at the clock, and and we know there's an inherent delay because he has to look at the play clock and then look at the ball. But that's a flash. And this one was like 2 seconds, and I don't know. I mean, I'd like to talk to the official and say he probably his initial key went in motion, and so then that changes responsibilities, and he probably got caught up in that and didn't look at his primary responsibility, which was the clock. But that was
players have MAs all the time.
That's right.
Assignments. That happens all the time. They're humans.
Zero is zero. I don't understand that one bit.
It was there for a long time.
Yeah.
Too. It seemed like
it was there for that was there for way too long. But let me just say this, and I think people know this about me. What they do is an impossible job.
Bingo.
I mean, it is so hard. We are the absolute.
You need to listen to this,
including
Connor.
me,
you can
at
see when the
slow
clock's
motion
zero.
officiating. We're the best, and those guys are right. If you looked at the amount of decisions that they have to make in the course of a game, they're right. I'm telling you, with all the decisions that have to be made, they're right 99% of the time.
You like
which
those
is
numbers?
pretty damn good in real time.
You sure, Mike?
But we don't like to talk about them being good. We like to talk about the misses and the strangeness, the end of the Steelers-Seattle game, that mess.
Hey,
we
Tomlin
like
said.
to focus on all the negative stuff.
Hey, Coach Tomlin, and by the way, you guys like kickers and punters. It's a damn shame, okay? But gotta be calloused up going out there. Coach Tomlin said, I'm getting a fine tonight. I am telling the truth. I'm writing a check to the league office tonight is what he said. That is something that I think the NFL tries to protect its refs from, is kind of within talking about the refs, because if we say it, all right, we're outside the NFL, we cover the NFL. If other people say it, cool. If fans say it, cool. But once the league itself starts, saying, hey, these refs stink, and representatives of the league say, hey, these refs stink, then it's obviously a much larger ordeal. So I think that is, why the Tomlin thing happened, because he knows, like, if I start talking about it, this is especially a guy who's been around as long as he has been around, and he's on the competition committee, I think. So, like, as soon as he said it, it almost opens up the floodgates for everybody to start saying it, which I think is why he knew that there would potentially be some fallout. But Mike, everybody hates the refs right now. It is, and I don't know if it's 99%.
To Tomlin, the point is too that he's on the competition committee. I don't like the way. I understand why it was handled the way it was handled, because you could make a case when you just look at the live shot. You can't tell whether the left foot might be out of bounds or not. That being said, I still would not have stopped it if it was me. But on the other hand, Seattle's going to get a play either way. I mean, because the spike did happen, there was still 1 second left on the clock, so they're going to get a play. They're lucky. The NFL's kind of lucky in that, because if that spike would have hit the ground at 0, and then they would have said they stopped it and didn't change the ruling and put 3 seconds back, then I could really understand the outburst that could come from Tomlin. But they were going to get a play. Yes, it would have been a little bit more frantic, because you would have had the 40-second clock to get your field goal kicker out. But that doesn't take more than 17 seconds to get, or even less than that?
13 if they really need to get it there. 13 or 14
so
seconds.
You mean if the kicker has speed like you?
Woo! Thank you for that compliment. You're great on the field as well, pal.
You got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're always gracious to us, and we appreciate you so much. We will attempt to be nicer to the officials, because you make us understand that there's a lot more going on. But I want to let you know it's getting hot in the kitchen, I think, for the officials everywhere. I think everywhere.
But I would say this, and I remember Greg Aiello, who was a former PR guy with the league. We go through this every year, and we'd say, it seems like it would be, oh man, it's really bad this year. And he would go, let's go back to week 6 last year. It's bad every year. I mean, you're in the oven all the time. You are never in the refrigerator. Never are you unless you're put in the deep freeze. But it's just a really tough job. And we beat up on them too much, but I still go back. I know they're going to make mistakes. I get it. It's so hard. I did it. It's impossible. But I'm concerned about the flow of the game. I want it to be a beautiful game. And I think with replay and all these other things now that they put in, I'm concerned about the flow of the game. That can be improved. Well, I think the judgment calls probably cannot.
I think we all miss old 77 running around.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We all miss old 77 around. The league would be better if you were still in it, but we appreciate you still covering it and joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, from Fox, former NFL head and NFL official. Ladies, head official and active official. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pereira. Thank you, Mike.
See you guys.
Hey, just press the reset button. Just press the reset button.
Can you loan me $100? I'm kind of light right now.
Call your guy Walt, dude. He got you. Walt got you. Thank you, Mike. You're the best, dude. All right,
See ya.
We got to get to a break. It is no fun.
No, it's an impossible job.
And I feel like that is always my angle. You know?
It is.
Yeah, but if every year they're getting dragged through the mud, why isn't there a conversation like, hey, let's just make this easier on everybody?
Just fix it.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we had this rule, and it was a good rule for the game, but it's impossible to officiate, so therefore, guess what? Maybe it's not good for the game.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Also, I mean, like, you know, yeah, being harsh order, but, like, they do stink. They're not good. League-wide. So, you know, it's kind of like, hey, I mean, it's not like we're killing them for no reason. They do, in fact, stink.
Yeah, and there is, not all of them.
Not all of them.
There are some great refs out there.
They all make terrible calls. I mean, sure, I'm sure they're great people, all of them. But a lot of them stink.
Nah, I don't think all of them are great people.
I don't know.
I have not met all of them, but I assume there are some potential bad people that are officials.
100%.
But most of the ones that I've met, good people, great people.
Good guys.
Want to do well, know that it's impossible, know when they fucked up. Mm-hmm. And then the crowd also lets them know. But there's never a celebration for refs. You know?
No.
They never get the payoff of the celebration, except for maybe when that title is 77 ends up on a green in the group in front of them, and they look at it. Title is 77. What's 77? Oh, that was my NFL number. Oh, you're. Nice to meet you. That's the success. That's the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the coin toss at the Super Bowl. Is that the win?
Coin toss, maybe.
Calling a touchdown at the Super Bowl.
Oh, boom. Maybe a personal foul in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe a touchback.
Anyways, mostly, those are tough opportunities to come by. Yeah. Usually, it's just them getting booed out of places and being told they stink. Mm-hmm. So I understand how nobody potentially wants to become a ref, but we should make it as easy as possible on them as opposed to making it more complicated with the technology that we have. There shouldn't be New York stadium reviewer, every other ref on the field, all in the Whitecaps' ear at all times for every call. That is wild that is the chain of command right now.
I like what you said, where just let the refs make the calls, and then if it is wrong, they'll buzz in.
They'll just drop in.
Instead of them being like, hey, was I right there?
Yeah, because then you take the expectation level of, I can ask for every call. Instead, it's just, hey, this person is just going to tell you when you're wrong. If you're wrong, they'll drop into your ear, and you can just tell everybody that you're wrong or whatever.
Could embrace the booze and just all turn heel and just, oh, yeah, you don't like that? 15 more. How about that?
Oh, want to boo?
Yeah.
Shush.
Giving everybody the bird walking out of the stadium.
Hey, sound like Ed Hockey got a little heat in
the
officiating community.
Yeah, in the locker room.
What's that all about?
Also, good to know that the NFL is going to let the USFL experiment with that new, program that they're going to use. So, hey, who knows? We might see some more transparency here soon.
Should we just launch a league that just has a bunch of new rules so the NFL can see it potentially happen?
That'd be sweet.
All right, we'll run a 5-on-5 league.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, here, look at this new tech rule that we have.
Only linemen.
We're going to put a chip under the lace of the ball as opposed to inside the ball, so nobody really has a problem with it, and you can tell exactly where it's at. Look how it worked. Look, our 5-on-5 league, just massive success rate with it. Is that what the NFL needs? Somebody else to do it?
Sounds like it.
Don't even need the chain gang anymore.
We don't have time, but somebody should do that.
Yeah.
We'll give you the ideas.
Boom.
The internet will give you the ideas.
Sure.
It won't just be our ideas. It'll be everybody's ideas. You can experiment, then send it over to Roger, and then guess what? The game's better.
Boom.
You're welcome.
What are we doing? Making the world a better place. Back in 4 minutes with some phone calls on 5 Energy phone line 18334. McAfee can't wait to chat with you on this gorgeous Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 19th, 2021.
EP did not tell you to go, Tony. You do not go until the EP Mitt says so.
He said
you
it
know
today.
that.
He said that's fucking Will Ferrell and Blaze of Glory.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Chaz Michael Michaels.
Michael Michaels. Thank you.
Either that or he hit like a tree branch.
You know what? Gumps, it was funny because that was the same time. So we're not going with Gumps.
No, I love it. It's like, hey, look, this is how I know you're the ultimate hockey guy.
That's good.
I've already got a nickname.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know.
Drop it and change it.
It's always at an ER, and I thought Gumper sounded pretty lame, so I went with Gumps.
Out of Philadelphia is one of the biggest inspirations walking around the internet. Gio, the podcast. Yeah! Okay, so you're 14 years old.
Yep.
You're from Philadelphia.
Yep.
Big time Eagles fan, podcaster. You were Carson Wentz's #1 fan.
Yeah. Yesterday, the 801 invited me, and Carson invited me to the game, and I got to go on the sideline and meet Carson again, and he gave me a football.
Let's go! Yeah! You're obviously full of energy, full of optimism, full of upbeat, good vibes.
Yeah.
What do you go through on a day-to-day?
I've had 20 surgeries in my life, so it hasn't been easy. I have a condition called SJS, short-stem-cell syndrome, and it's basically like muscular dystrophy with dwarfism. My elbows are dislocated. My left hip is dislocated. I had to get my right hip reconstructed. The reason I'm so optimistic is because life is too short to focus on the negativity.
Let's go! I'm sorry to hear that you have to be tougher than all of us on the day-to-day, but I am so incredibly thankful that you keep that mindset. How'd you develop a love for football?
We've always been a football family, but then when I started having surgeries, I started watching football, and then I just kind of fell in love.
What does the rest of the season look like for the Indianapolis Colts, you think? Carson's going to keep himself safe out there?
Carson's going to have his best NFL season here in Indy.
Why is that?
He loves it here, and he's having fun. And when Carson Wentz is having fun, he plays his best.
Okay, and how about the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think they got a little developing to do with him.
Are there any players that you'd like to get on your podcast?
Brian Dawkins.
Oh. Is he your favorite Eagle of all time?
Him, Carson, and Zach Ertz are my top 3.
Oh, Zach Ertz. Damn,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Why is everybody getting traded out that you like? What's the deal?
I don't know.
You're really, really good at this. What's the name of the podcast?
Philly Sports with Giovanni.
One last message to somebody out there who maybe doesn't view life the right way, you think?
I'd just say find your happiness and find the thing that inspires you, like I found football, and just try to look on the optimistic side.
Hey, you absolutely crush it every single day. You crushed it in here. We appreciate you. We hope you loved Indianapolis, Indiana. Come back whenever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, Gio the podcaster. Yeah!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Today's show is presented by Arby. Ooh. This is the last week to try the real country-style rib sandwich. The sandwich that has been smoked low and slow for at least 8 hours.
8 hours.
Hey.
Smoked over real hickory wood at a smokehouse in East Texas.
Hell yeah.
At Arby's, you don't have to worry about getting a restructured patty in the shape of a rib. No. This sandwich is whole muscle meat.
Yeah.
And absolutely delicious.
That's right.
It is delightful.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I know it says here smoke low and slow for at least 8 hours in a smokehouse in East Texas. And you might say that sounds like bullshit, but whenever you taste the tenderness of these ribs, you can't help but think to yourself, damn, this is a great rib sandwich. This must be the real country style rib sandwich from Arby's.
Mm-hmm. Miss it.
I am too, right?
Only a week left. That actually is,
I've had it once a week for the last 3 weeks, I think.
It's delicious.
I know it's for dinner this week.
If you haven't tried it yet somehow, I don't know how, but go try the real country style rib sandwich and tweet us a picture using hashtag PMS pork rib for your last chance to win Arby's gift cards and meat sweats.
Oh yeah.
Winners will be announced next week. Congrats everybody that wins in advance. Thank you for joining us. During the break at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, we ran a interview that we got to have with Gio, the Philly sports podcaster. We appreciate the hell out of him. Absolute legend. He stopped by yesterday. I absolutely love him. I actually told him this on the way out whenever he was with his crew. Normally, I'm a pretty big anti-kid guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear it. Unless it's Lex Lumpkin. Okay.
Yeah, right, sure.
Right.
And I got tweeted Gio's podcasts and content like 1,000 times or whatever. Like, hey, you need to meet this kid. You need to meet this kid. I'm like, I don't do kids. All right. Whenever he gets older, I followed him. He's one of my best followers. Like I every single day, I appreciate the hell out of him. I think he's very good, and he loves sports. He loves football, and I appreciate him for coming by. I fucking love that kid, dude.
Yeah. Hopefully the Eagles win for him, or the Colts win for him.
Well, and maybe the Eagles stop trading away all his favorite players.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
What's that all about?
Sirianni.
Jeez Louise, it is Sirianni, isn't it?
Yeah.
Howie Roseman's a fucking dipshit. Don't look at me, Gio.
Let's go to the 5-hour energy phone line, 1-833-4 McAfee. Let's go to Toby down there in Texas. You in East Texas? You ever been to one of them smokehouses that Arby's using for these real country-style rib sandwiches?
Let me tell you, Pat, I've been to plenty in East Texas smokehouse. I'm not sure if any of them are going to be comparable to the Arby's, but I'll just have to put that to the test and get back to you on that one. I'm suspicious going in. That's all I'll say.
Well, I want to let you know that the Arby's, notch above what you were talking about, that 5-star bun. Oh my. Then they got some onion things.
Crispy onion.
Oh, my. With some BBQ sauce on it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they got that barbecue sauce lathered on there.
Mayo on the bottom.
Oh.
What?
Toby, what do you want to talk about, buddy? Oh, it's so good, dude.
Okay, let me tell you, Pat. I had almost what I would say an out-of-body experience yesterday morning listening to the show, okay?
Oh, sweet.
It's not every day that I get to have a day off of work and listen to the entire 4 hours, but that morning I did. Opened it up with some vitamins as the show opened, and your first guest, Ricky Williams, was just an absolute perfect guest for exactly the situation I was having yesterday morning. You mentioned that he was in your dream vitamin circle, and I was wondering if you could elaborate more on maybe some celebrity sports stars that might be in that circle, or if maybe you got to have some dream vitamin circle experiences in your time in the NFL.
Thank you, Toby, for that question. I'm not sure. I haven't – everybody always puts like a 4 because I think that's always just kind of the thing for like your golf foursome, and then people always guess 4. I don't know. There is a lot of people that I think enjoy smoking the marijuana, cannabis alongside. Ricky's just always been in the group. Like there's just and I think I've gotten a chance to smoke with some people that I think to myself, wow, I cannot believe I'm smoking with this person right now. And they're very cool. And then there's some people I've smoked with where I'm like, this person shouldn't be smoking. They cannot be smoking the amount that they're smoking. But there's a lot of names out there that I think would be potentially cool. I enjoy good conversation when I'm high.
Yeah.
So like that is what I'm about. For instance, when Steve Jobs was alive, there's the top of the list for who I want to get high with. Guy took mushrooms or acid or hallucinogens or whatever and created something while out in the middle of a field and changed the entire existence of every human. That would be a great high conversation.
You don't think he just put you to work on one of your ideas?
Okay, so that's a Bill Burr, all right? And that has potentially changed some things. But let's think about the quotes in the world that Steve Jobs created and changed, all right?
That's right.
We're back at Hour 2 with AJ Hawk. This is the Pat McAfee Show, a terrible show.
I never told you this. I got an unbelievable rap sheet of guys I almost hit with my car. And I literally almost
Wait, I thought you were going to say on the ice. I thought you were going to say you hit Wayne on the ice.
Car
rapper, what the fuck are you doing?
I shit you not. And where I'm from in Midwest, Cleveland, when I grew up, the crosswalks, man, when you're a pedestrian, you look out for cars in New Jersey and New York. No. Like, people just come out and the cars have to look out for people, right? That was an adjustment for me. So I'm going, and all of a sudden, there's this dude in the crosswalk, and I slam. Johnny Oduya goes, whoa, and I slam the brakes on. I'm not kidding you guys, this far away. I look, this guy's got his hat on, a backpack over his shoulder, and he goes like this. He goes, and waves to me, and we both lean forward, and Johnny goes, and I look at it, and I go, is that fucking Eli Manning? And he's like, it is. I almost trucked Eli. And that's the year the Giants, that's the year the Giants won the Super Bowl. So thank you you're welcome, I guess, to Giant fans out. And then 2 years before that, I was in Columbus playing for the Blue Jackets. I was taking my kids to a circus that was at the Nationwide Arena, and they got the practice arena inside it. And I'm late. I'm ripping around this parking garage. You know how you do that, going up and up and up. I come around this corner, slam the brakes on. I almost hit Wayne. Barry Smith, Wayne Gretzky, like a foot away from both of them. Almost truck them again. You guys are not gonna believe me. I'm playing for the Rangers. Okay, this was in 2012.
What the fuck are you doing, Rupper?
At the practice rink. At the practice rink for the New York Rangers, we shared with the New York Knicks. I'm late for practice. I don't want Torts to give me shit, so I'm flying in. The gate opens. I punch the code. Gate opens. I'm flying down the parking spot. Turn a corner. Almost hit Rasheed Wallace. And he gave me the hairy eyeball, and we gave each other stare down like we might go in the parking lot right now. Like, it was awkward.
Hey, I assume you're somewhat of a local hero in the New York, New Jersey area because of the Stanley Cup goal and everything with the Devils, and you had some years with the Rangers. You threw some fists there. You were a heart and soul kind of guy. You hit Eli Manning in a crosswalk, you're dead. They're gonna string you up in the street.
How about if I hit one of them and I grazed another, then people are like, this fucking guy's targeting superstar. Like, you know what I mean?
Fucking like, AJ Hawk on the fucking road, Rupper. Jesus.
I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage.
Jesus.
It doesn't smell great down here.
Jesus.
But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago. Really? I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice.
You want to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper, I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
Mike's not plugged in.
Whoa. Yes, I did. I actually just
No, you
explained
didn't.
it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did. I
No, you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I
didn't.
had this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you didn't.
unbelievable talent.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking
Yes,
have
I
it.
did.
No, you didn't. You're a sad sack of shit,
Jason.
Kiper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God.
Jeez.
Had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass from a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think, is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snider and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so and ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I went to one of his shows. He forced me into doing, he's wearing football pants.
I think Marco had actual knee pads. Does he have a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel.
That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
I just want to let everybody know.
Straight to his face.
I just want to let everybody know this is NFL related. Okay, we have to talk about this.
Yes. We have to cover it. Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony, that's a.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, October 19th, 2021 years after the year zero was founded. Hour 2 of this sports show begins right now. Yeah. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Hey, I rolled my R there a little bit. I rolled the R there a little bit. Felt pretty cultured, no big deal.
Absolutely.
At Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor sitting at the toxic table, at Tone Diggs, the COVID cowboy up in his post, everybody in the back, we appreciate the hell out of you. Hour 2, we'll see one of the greatest prognosticators in the history of prognostication. A guy who was alongside me in picking the Buffalo Bills last night because the Bills were a wagon going into last night. And we were definitely wrong about a friend of his, Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans being dominant. But we have to chat about it, ladies and gentlemen. College football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, terrible driver, AJ Hawk.
Right. What's happening, guys? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you as well. It's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, obviously. Excited about the chat about ownership of Chicago and how he's feeling body-wise, football-wise, and everything like that. About 1 hour away for those keeping track at home. AJ, let's talk about the game last night. What a game. That was an incredible primetime game. And by the way, this just fits the narrative. Primetime games this season have been unbelievable. Cowboys, Bucks, 31-29, game-winning field goal. Ravens, Raiders, 33-27. Giants 30-29, 36-35, 30-28, 24-21, 19-17, 31-25 overtime, 23-20 overtime, 34-31 last night. I'm talking the NFL has hit home runs on primetime games, which is night games. Last night was nothing different. Derrick Henry's an alien. What are your thoughts, AJ?
100%. Derrick Henry, I know Vrabes talked about it afterwards, that they just jump on his back and they rode him all night. And they never could consistently stop the dude in Tennessee. They just continued to fight, and man, I mean, that was a great win for Tennessee. I didn't think they were going to win. Even going into the game, I took the Bills, but then even not until very late did I say, okay, the Titans are going to take this.
Okay, yeah, because the Bills seemed like they could do whatever, whenever. However, and Dawson Knox threw a 2-point conversion with a broken hand, I think, which is incredible grit. Hey,
did you notice? When they played the replay of that, sorry to cut you off, when they played the replay when he undid both of his chin straps, he threw it, and as Josh Allen's catching, he gets both chin straps with his left hand. And I was like, why does he always do that? Yeah. And then they checked him on the sidelines. Then they actually showed another player that wasn't Dawson Knox, and then no one said anything.
Yeah, then he was gone, I think. And now it's coming up that he had a broken hand, or something happened to his hand. I guess we'll have to find out the exacts of it. Whenever Derrick Henry starts rolling, I always find it very interesting because I was not tough enough to play on the defensive side of the ball. I did not have to run my face in everybody or somebody.
Yeah, you were. You just, you didn't get there. You were punter, kicker.
Yeah, I mean, punter was specifically defensive side of the ball, I guess, but I didn't have to run my face into somebody every single play, my shoulders, my whole body. It feels like from watching Derrick Henry, and I've felt this way the last couple of years, once he gets rolling, is that more so that the defense has given up and they're just tired of getting run over? Because there was a play made that I think you shared by, I forget who tweeted it, but it was a safety came down, hit.
Will Blackman
tweeted it about, I don't know if it was Poyer, I don't know if it was
Micah Hyde.
I think it was Micah Hyde. He tackled him. It was like an 8-yard gain, 7-yard gain, but that hit, Micah has to hurt from that. That was just one play. Derrick Henry
that was a great tackle, though. Micah was all over. They posted all over, man, can you look at this? And I was like, that's an unbelievable tackle. Are you kidding me? Derrick Henry has a 50-way go. Micah's 20 yards removed, standing still, chopping his feet. Derrick Henry has a full head of steam, and he runs him over. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You think Micah's going to be able to somehow knock him back in that situation.
But what I'm saying is that was deemed by you and everybody like, hey, this is a success story. And he ran 7 yards or whatever for that play. It feels like once he gets going, is it a mental thing on the defensive side? Like, do you think you need somebody to come up and make a massive hit? Like, how do you get momentum back on your side, especially when Big Mo is literally Derrick Henry? And that is what it becomes. Second half of games, he did it against the Seahawks. He's done it against, I think 2 weeks ago he did. I'm not sure, but last week, but this past, he is just, in the second half, it has become an unstoppable force. On the defensive side, what do you need to stop that? Or is that just going to start the inevitability of it all?
I mean, I know they popped up the stats during the game of his yardage through each quarter, and the fourth quarter is much higher than the first. Yeah, it wears on you, but I think you have to play him almost like a scat back. Like, guys that are scat backs, they say, hey, don't let him go. Like, you got to make him go east and west, make him dance at the line of scrimmage so we can all rally and get this dude down so he's not moving around. Like Derrick Henry, yeah, he's not lightning quick like that, but you watch him run with that forward lean at all times. You got to just make him stop his feet and try to not get through the line of scrimmage and just build a wall and then have about 9 to 10 guys come try to tackle.
So that means you just got to crowd the box, right? But then that's why you bring in a Julio Jones to add alongside A.J. Brown, and you hope Tannehill can take it over?
Can't peek either. All your D linemen need to be firm in their gaps and not, they peek one way. Oh, okay, here we go. Derrick Henry's going to find it. He has such great instincts, and when he does, even a bad play for him, he's going to fall for 4 yards.
And then once he gets through, 21.8 miles an hour.
Think of the safeties. Think if you're a safety or you're somebody on the second level there, and you consistently have to think about making that tackle that Micah Hyde just had to make. That'll wear on you mentally throughout a game, not obviously physically. It does.
Micah Hyde was kind of like a punter here, okay? Last line of defense, wide open, somebody much bigger, probably stronger than you running at you, and you're just standing there. Now, he made a much better play than a lot of punters ever will, but that was my biggest fear. And against Derrick Henry, that's potentially happening every play. Yeah. That is just, I couldn't even.
I hope you're not the first guy there. Like with Derrick Henry, everyone's hoping they're not the first guy. Hey, let me be the second or third guy.
Yeah, I was in on that tackle, jumping, flying in from the side. Hey, you stand him up, I'll come get the ball, or I'll help you out. It's very nice of you. That I don't know, because the conversation is, Bills are still the Bills. What I saw last night out of the Bills, I don't think any of us are changing our perspective that they're a wagon. And we all 100% agree that everybody has agreed with that. No conversation about the Titans, though, today, really. Maybe they're 4-2. Maybe they're a squad. They got to playoffs, lose to Baltimore last year. The year before that, they won in the playoffs. They got Derrick Henry back. Tannehill is back. We all hope Taylor Lewan's okay, all-pro left tackle or whatever. That was a scary situation for sure. But nobody's talking about, is it strictly because the defense is so bad and they don't think they'll ever be able to stop the top dogs? But they just beat the Bills, so...
Yeah, I think that's a huge win for the Titans, and I don't like to put too much one way or the other into regular season wins or losses, but I think it was a huge win for the Titans, not only for them their confidence, but also just in the standings where they are to stay in good position and not make sure you have a little room for error as the season goes.
Ty, your thoughts on Jackrabbit Jenkins?
Well, he's a tough player. He's a tough player, and I'm glad you mentioned Jackrabbit Jenkins because I didn't understand that was his name until the fourth quarter last night, and I realized that the broadcast team had said it 575 million times throughout the game. So that's pretty sweet that his name is Jackrabbit, but in case anyone didn't know, his name is Jackrabbit Jenkins. It's not Janoris Jenkins anymore. It is Jackrabbit Jenkins.
Oh, okay. Really? Yeah. I heard it last night, obviously.
Yeah, a couple times.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that.
Levy was trending, okay? Levy's trending, I think, every single game. That is... It's going to be Manning Cast is back next week.
Yeah. Thank God.
Whoa.
Come on.
ESPN didn't want to hear that.
Call a spade a spade. Hey, I mute the broadcast so I don't have to.
You play music.
Well, no, I actually, Red Sox big game. I'm not going to talk about it because nobody will turn the show on anymore. But mute it, and then you don't have to listen to Jackrabbit. And also, I did see a clip of what's his name, Riddick, saying that he wanted to chain Levy up at one point during.
Do we know if that was Riddick or Greasy?
I thought it was Riddick because I watched the clip.
It was when Derrick Henry was working out.
Yeah,
I heard it live, and I was like, "Oh, geez, all right, we're taking." But I laughed. But in those moments. Broadcasting is not. Mike Pereira just came on.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And Mike Pereira's good. The officiating's terrible, right? So I like Mike Pereira. He's good on the show. Officiating's terrible, so it's always nice to talk to him because I feel like he just always has to defend it. And he talks about how hard officiating is, and we agree. It is very difficult. We understand that it is very difficult, but we see other people do it, and it seems like they're pretty good, so why can't everybody do that? I think that is the same thing in broadcasting. A lot of people think that, like we understand it's probably not the easiest thing to do or whatever. I guess it's very difficult. I'm not 100% sure. Who knows if anybody liked me in there. I found it to be very easy, but I did no research. I knew nobody's name. Okay, so I didn't even say names. I just described position players that were happening. It's very difficult, but Monday Night Football is like the Super Bowl. Everybody's going to be watching that thing every week, especially when you got a thriller like that. So there's always going to be a little backlash.
Yeah, and like you said, it's very difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but when your own network is putting Peyton and Eli Manning on another channel, they're kind of setting you up for, you guys are basically screwed for this entire season because everyone's going to watch this one and not yours.
Hey, Monday Night Manning's back next week. That should be a lot of fun. But did you change any of your thoughts on anything last night on either team? Are you more of a fan of the Titans than maybe you were before the game started, AJ?
I've always been a fan of the Titans. I still think the Bills are probably the better team. I don't know, though, late in the season, this has a great formula to win if you're the Titans, but still, I don't know. I don't know if they can stop people enough to win in the playoffs.
Derek, it feels like those games where he starts rolling, it is so much fun to watch because it's like, oh, this is old school football. And this is another thing I mentioned in the first hour. I'd like to get your thoughts on this. As defenses continue to get faster and smaller because the way rules are changing and having to keep up with these freak athletes, that has to benefit Derrick Henry, right? I mean, people are getting small.
So. He's bigger than obviously most all linebackers he's going against. He's bigger than some DNs and outside backers he's facing too. So, yeah, I think it does. That may help him out a little bit, especially wear on people because they don't defenses are not overall as big as they used to be.
Do you remember when mobile quarterback, you'd be playing against a mobile quarterback or whatever, they bring in a new quarterback to the practice squad and hey, here's the new rules. This is what we're going to train for 1 week. It was almost like, hey, our team would be changing the way the defense operates because we've got to keep quarterback in the pocket, contained. There's a bunch of rules. I wonder if they're doing that now. Hey, we got a big guy this week, all right? So we're going to have to work and change. This is how we got to tackle this guy this week. He probably changes entire weeks for defenses whenever they have to face against him.
Yeah, you're probably right. And some teams, what they like to do, they try to make your corners tackle. So they'll try to get the numbers right to where, we're not going to block this corner, but we're going to block everybody else, and we're going to force them. Hey, you prove to us that you can tackle, or we're going to try to get that edge all night.
Vrabel has to love that team. That's his team.
Yeah.
Why is he so mad all the time?
Doesn't it feel like just such a Vrabel team?
Yeah. Why is he so mad all the time?
I don't think he is. I just think that's his demeanor on game day.
His look is smacking a mouth at any given moment. Anybody can get it, even if something good just happened. I'll fucking smack you in the mouth. He looks so intense at all times.
I think he is pretty intense. You see him, he's still out there in warm-ups, isn't he? Smacking dudes around and running D-line drills.
Did Bill Belichick do that this weekend? Why do you have that big gash on his nose?
Yeah, he was taking pass sets this week leading up to the Cowboys. So
I saw that photo.
Yes, but I don't know why he was bleeding from the mouth during the game. Because he had a towel and he
bit his tongue or something.
I think he might have headbutted somebody.
Oh, he might.
Nice play.
Bill, those photos of him being tackled.
Yeah, still got it.
Hey, he's 70 years old. His leg, you see, because he's still squatting. That was unbelievable. That was almost more impressive than anything I've ever seen him do.
Yeah.
We see him under the squat rack with 95 pounds or 85 pounds or whatever on there.
220.
And it's okay, Bill's still trying to do a little pliability. Maybe Bill, he understands they still got to be able to move. But him lining up against, I think it was Van Noy.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was lined up against Van Noy with no helmet. He had a visor on. Van Noy had his helmet on, and he was doing it. I'm like, what the fuck is Bill Belichick doing? I loved it. I loved every single second of it. Loved every single second of it.
70 years old. Think of grab a 70-year-old off the street and throw him in there. And hey, let's do some hand fighting here, Van Noy. Come on, work with me.
Grab a 30-year-old off the street.
I was about to say,
really anybody.
Diggs ran a go route in Atlanta, hitting a rock, broke his foot. You know what I mean? Stepped on a rock. On a rock, broke his foot. Ran a go route, stepped on it.
I was trying to parkour in Atlanta.
He was trying to freestyle walk a little bit after hitting a go route. He hit a little rock.
Yeah.
Boom, broke his foot. A couple metatarsals down there, gone. He was out for 4 weeks. This dude's a D1 athlete not too long ago. Turned 30, broke his foot on a rock trying to take a step. That happens. Bill's 70 years old doing pass sets. And on the point of the Patriots here, Trayvon Diggs, he came out and said that Mac Jones is going to be a problem for people for a long time. I wonder what exactly that means. Now, he got a pick, obviously, off a play that he made late, and then a double move bomb happened afterwards. When he says that, do you think that means he's he notices Mac Jones maybe deciphering the coverage that they're in, figuring out where they should go, what they should do. What do you think he means by that?
I think he probably saw it on film leading up to the game. Mike's like, okay, this dude doesn't play like a rookie. And he also has he has some moxie, as we like to say, his own version of this moxie. It's not like
Moxie
everybody
Mac.
else's. So I think during the game, he probably felt that. He probably saw Mac, how he was talking to people. Like, when you hear Mac yelling at people to go in motion when they're not going in motion yet, like, he has control of that, and I'm sure the whole defense sees that, and they obviously respect it.
Oh, shit. Hey. I mean, we beat you, but, you're going to be good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you're saying, I wonder if some, middle linebacker, how Aaron always talks about Urlacher, his interactions with Urlacher on the field. I would love to hear, a veteran linebacker listen to a quarterback and go, shit, all right. Did not expect that out of you. I want to let you know that because, Ray Lewis and Eli allegedly had those give and takes. I wonder, Mike, did you have massive conversations with quarterbacks ever or no?
No, I don't know when you have time to have all those conversations, especially if you have the speaker in your helmet. The play ends and the coach is instantly yelling in your ear and you can't hear anything.
You ever wink at a quarterback or anything? Any quarterback ever look at you and say, this dude's the Mike right here, Hawk is, and we're actually going to take advantage of him on this play. Mm-hmm. Did any of that ever happen? Any quarterbacks ever do that to you?
Not that I heard of. It may have, though.
Yeah, was it because everybody was scared of you? Was that kind of the way it was?
Not even close, no.
Definitely.
And I'm just saying that stuff goes back and forth and you talk to people in between plays, but at the line of scrimmage, I mean, guys like Aaron, some of the vets, they will point things out and smile, wink at dudes and do stuff like that, but not a whole lot of quarterbacks do that.
Hey, people are saying that this Aaron hatred of Chicago goes back a long way. I'm seeing some clips of him saying in a podcast interview with somebody, you must be a Chicago Bears fan, where every year ends with, next time. You know what I mean? He said so, it was like a good, perfectly delivered line. I did not know. Packers-Bears, massive rivalry.
Oh, yeah, huge.
Yes.
I think it's the longest standing, they've played head-to-head, over 200 times.
So I love it even more than the I own you thing, because that's caring more than just about this game. It's about the overall legacy of
the history of it. I asked him on the show last week. McCarthy used to always on Bears Week, Wednesday morning, he shows a 4 or 5 minute almost highlight clip of Packers-Bears games going back from the beginning, and highlights on both sides too. What Jim McMahon gets slammed down hard, all of these iconic plays that have happened. And you realize it when you get there, this is a giant thing. This is a huge rivalry.
Hey, that's awesome to think that is still happening, especially in the modern era where it seems like individualism has become not the main thing, because people have just realized that it's incredibly successful to do so, but it's also how society has become almost, as everybody's kind of their own entrepreneurs. You're running your own business. Everybody's running their own race. Let's go ahead and try to get this thing. Even though we're on a team, we're going to try to do our best.
Yeah.
Well,
swallow your gum.
Entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Swallow your gum.
All right. I'm not even going to get into this.
It's real.
Swallow your gum.
He said it.
Yeah. Great advice.
Why'd you even say it, AJ? You knew this shit was going to happen.
You said entrepreneur. He's the first one that pops in my head.
Well, that's good marketing by him, and that's why he does the things he does, and that's why he says the things he does,
I've never in my life thrown out a piece of gum. I've swallowed every piece of gum that I've ever chewed.
It's a waste of fucking time to not swallow your gum. I don't have those 2 seconds. I'm swallowing my fucking gum every fucking time.
All right? And in doing so, he has become the single person that AJ Hawk thinks of when the word entrepreneur is used, even if it's setting a description of team sports in the way it is. So congrats to Gary V. Hey,
nice job, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
More people should start doing that. Foxy swallows his fortunes from his fortune cookies.
That's the way they come true.
Yeah.
Foxy also said he has been thinking about one of his family members getting shot in the face every morning in the shower so they can add perspective to his dad.
Okay, that is also another quote. I don't know if this is all happening, but let's get back to the point. The fact that the tradition is still remaining with all the money and all the everything, who knows how Aaron ultimately feels about the front office or the Packers or whatever at this exact moment. And he said to somebody, he doesn't know if this will be the last time, or he's not so sure this will be the last time this happens. So that led to people thinking, he's getting back into good graces with the Green Bay Packers and whatever. He has never not said that he doesn't love the Packers, though. He says he loves the Packers. And the fact that the tradition and the legacy means something, that in that moment, he even got so caught up that he was like, who are you even talking to right now? I love it. I can't wait to chat with him about it, AJ. I literally cannot wait to chat with him about it.
Well, I think it's cool that there's still there's not a whole lot of rivalries in the NFL. I know a lot of teams talk about the rivalries, but it's just how you're is this a thing? Is that a real rivalry? Bears, Packers? Packers fans would lose their mind if they heard that. They're like, what do you mean? Everybody knows this is a giant thing.
Yeah, but as soon as guys get signed on like Wednesday or Thursday to play in a game on a Sunday, and then they're released Monday or Tuesday, they have no idea the team that they're playing for currently, the defense that they're supposed to be playing in a couple of days, or any of the potential rivalries or hatreds that they have. They're just trying to make it through the weekend to get a game check and then get to Monday. And I think that is the difference. And that's why I'm so thankful, even with LaFleur being like a 12-year-old head coach, the fact that it sounds like it is still being, and Nagy, and if you look at the way the Bears defense interacted with Aaron as opposed to every other week, it was not sweet. I don't think shit was sweet out there. Like, I enjoyed that. I love that type of stuff. That's throwback.
There's a lot. I mean, I don't know what the clip was that McCarthy would put together, but there was a lot of violent, huge shots that we were watching. Like, oh, can't do that anymore. Nope, that wouldn't happen. No, that guy's out of the league. Like every big hit that's happened in the history of this game, obviously back in the day, you're like, oh, okay, these dudes wouldn't be able to play in the NFL anymore. Like, that's how violent it was, and it's fun to watch.
I love the fact, though, that the modern generation, we will carry the tradition, but also we're going to be a bit skeptical of the shit that's happening in there. All right? That's a fine. We can't do that. All right. This is what you want us to do. We're literally not. We would lose our jobs if we did that. Those hits that were promoted and leading into commercial and out of commercial, on replay, on double replay, on the segment that everybody misses, you got jacked up. Those are all gone. All of those things would be multi-six-figure fines. All of those things nowadays. It's a whole new game, but you can still have a little bit of that hate that'll drive you to beat a team, which I appreciate. Let's go ahead and bounce around the NFL a little bit. Dak Prescott is getting an MRI on his right calf, which they are believing it is just a strain. They are on a bye week. He told reporters that he would have went back in if he had to. He has no real, it doesn't seem like he's scared at all of this. He seems to be very casual about it all. Told the reporters, I'll give you guys something to talk about for the bye week. Still something though, right? I mean, he had his arm thing that happened in training camp. They arrested him. They said it was no big deal. It ultimately was no big deal. He obviously had that incredibly gruesome cramp injury that he had surgery and had to come back from quicker than ever. So this is something, but Dak Prescott has proven that he is very tough. He'll play through damn near anything, and he has not sounded the alarm bell, so I don't think this is that big of a deal.
And just good timing. Good timing that you have a bye week now, and he can, if it's not too bad, he can be okay. But seeing him in the boot doesn't make me feel very good about it.
That's what, literally, his words and how they were talking with the boot. So he's just choosing. The boot is miserable. People don't love the boot. Like, it is not necessarily.
I'm sure it was like precautionary. They're like, all right, hey, let's make sure we have time. We have time to get you healthy. Let's just not be stupid here.
Let's get him on two of them, maybe. Like
yes, that'd be smart.
Because you gotta lean with it, rock with it with those boots. You're like on those old school Skechers. You know what I mean? Those wheelies.
Shape-ups.
Yeah, the shape-ups.
It's like you're on. If you put two boots on, it's like you're wearing Hokas. Basically, the way you have to balance.
Well, why don't we get him a scooter?
All right. There's no reason to take a shot at my Hokas yesterday. I was standing a little bit taller. Okay, and I want to let you know I came out of the weekend 10-4. You were 8-6. Great weekend by both of us. I'm getting a little bit hotter.
Did you not give yourself the loss last night?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're 10-5 then.
That would be 15 games. There was not 15 games.
There's 14 games.
Asshat.
There was 14.
So then what am I then? What am I?
8-6.
8 plus 6 is 14.
You clown.
Okay, so those are updated numbers?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Did I just say these numbers or no?
Yeah, you did.
Did I say the wrong ones?
No, you
No,
did.
you did not.
This guy's an asshole.
No, he's not. No, he's not. But I did think that I did not get the numbers wrong there. Neither of
You
us.
guys are so stupid.
Okay, we're not the dumb ones in this particular
is that
situation.
right?
Just want to let you know
Count
that.
to 10, prick.
Well, listen.
To
I don't.
10. What's count to 10 going to do for me?
Well,
Prove
14
that you
would
know
be
numbers.
better, but we don't need to listen. The only thing I need to say is 10-4 on the weekend, 8-6 on the weekend. Hammer Dahn was in the plus side. Every sport is being gambled on tonight at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. I mean, we are a hot office right now, but we could be a much hotter office in the gambling sphere. And also, if my wife would stop being so selfish, she had another 7-leg parlay last night.
Just from this one game?
$5 holla. Same game parlay, 7 legs hit last night. It's unbelievable. Touchdowns, over on yards, team, everything. She is. And I asked her, okay, before, hey, what are we betting on? What do we got tonight? Can't tell you. I'll lose. And I have to back off because we're talking like multiple 7-leg parlays, 5-leg parlays. I think she had an 11-leg parlay at some point. Last night is 7-leg. I mean, it is absurd. And it's It's a shame that she will not tell anybody any of her picks because she refuses to let it out of her account until it gets in. She's, woo! She'll celebrate out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, look at there's a lot of 7 of them last night. I'm like, God damn. She is making real hay out there. And I'm incredibly proud of her. I just think it's a little selfish with the information. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's good for her. Keep it to herself. She knows if she puts it out there, you start to pilfer it. Whatever your attitude is, you will mess up her good mojo she has going.
Gambling gods.
It's true.
Yeah. This is him calling me a bad husband again, by the way.
I
would support my wife's picks. I would promote my wife's picks because she is obviously proven to be much better than all of us at gambling. I wouldn't pilfer some side, whatever you're saying.
I'm saying, like Diggs said, the gambling gods would not like that, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she's, by the way, longtime gambler. Like, she's just getting into she was a scratch-off queen for a very long time. We still have a shoebox of winners that we got to take down in there. She is an incredible gambler. It would be nice though if maybe the whole house could, could celebrate off it.
Benefit a little.
Could celebrate off it, but she needs to keep crushing it. It's good for the house, good for everybody. NFL, we're in week 7 already, AJ.
I know. This needs to slow down.
It's insane. I mean, I'm enjoying every single minute of it. There's no games on tonight, obviously. We've got to wait till Thursday. It's forever. I guess there's some baseball and basketball's back, I guess. But the NFL has lived up to the hype this season, I think, AJ. Don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I know ratings are up a bunch, too. I saw. And when people thought they would be last year, but they weren't, and now they are. What is it, just good games?
I think it's good games. It's the environment. I think there was also a lot of conversation that wasn't sports related happening when the last season. There was a lot of people that were caring about a lot of other stuff rather than just, meathead football. And I think there was a lot of things potentially happening that weren't necessarily like a celebration. So there was more serious things happening. Now it feels like, although, who knows?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
It just feels like we're on the other side of this thing. But then we're not on the other side of this thing. And then we are on the other side of this thing, and then we're not on the other side of this thing, and then, it's like, I just, but anyways.
Is this thing COVID? Is this thing the Cuomo brothers? Is this thing the emails? What are we talking about?
Okay, so in this particular case, what I am referring to is the COVID world stoppage and protocols and rules and regs and people losing jobs and people and protesting against things, losing $381,000 a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kyrie's not getting paid. $381,000 a game is what he will not be getting paid because his protest basically being a voice for the voiceless, those who do not want to get vaccinated, and he feels like he's being forced to be vaccinated. And then the coach at Washington State, he just got fired because he would not get vaccinated, and it became a state. He's a state official because he's the coach of Washington State, and the state made the rules and mandates this whole thing. And it's like we're at the point where, holy shit, I thought we're out of this whole thing, and there's still just more and more piling up on top of each other. It's an insane. When will this end? I'm not sure, but I do feel like we are at the 17th hole, maybe 18th hole. It feels like.
Are we?
Of round 1, perhaps.
You think? Okay, I know you don't fly commercial. You think in 9 months you're going to be on a commercial flight without a mask on? The rest of us?
I have no idea because then you listen to some doctors, they say the mask literally is doing nothing. Then you hear other doctors are like, need to wear 2 of them.
No, I think it seems pretty black and white. Everyone seems to be in agreement on all of that.
Well, that's I think we're getting closer to where people enjoy sports a little bit more. They're not worried necessarily about their life and their family and where we're going to school. And I just feel like we're finally potentially getting to a point where people can escape and relax. And I think NFL and football in general is a good place for people to do that, especially if you're just coming out of an entire world conflict that everybody has to be boots on the ground for, it feels like. It is an insane time to be alive, AJ. Insane, but.
Yeah, it is. And I know we don't talk baseball, but I think having fans in the stands make people want to watch it more on TV. It feels like, okay, this feels more normal. But I know that grand slam that Schwarber hit, that place looked like it almost crumbled. They were so juiced.
Man, when Schwarber swung that bat,
dude.
And that ball cracked off the wood, dude.
Yeah, you texted me. You were like, I can't believe Fenway right now.
I remember seeing him do that for the Cubs, and now he's doing it at Fenway. Man, this is awesome. That's what I said.
Yeah. I remember.
But that was happening, remember, what was it, Mississippi State baseball?
Yeah.
They're like one of the first ones. Baseball has some electric environments because it is like a light switch, basically, that is being flipped with one swing of a bat, especially in a big moment. I think it was college baseball was the first crowd back that I saw. It might have been Mississippi State. Dinger, and then or maybe it was Ole Miss. I forget who it was. But the place went bananas. And I remember thinking, we're back.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We are back. Environments are back. People are going crazy. They're spilling drinks on each other that they had. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, and then lo and behold, we were not back just yet.
No, not at all.
No. I don't know what happened to all those kids going crazy in the stands, but we were not back yet. And now it feels like every college game is filled.
Yeah.
Every NFL game is filled. People are still losing jobs, I guess, but it feels like we're.
And no Christmas. Don't forget no Christmas.
Well.
Oh, is it canceled?
Pending Halloween and Thanksgiving.
You got to wait. You
Let's
wait
see,
for the
we'll
update.
I think what they were saying is
They'll let you know.
Santa might have COVID. This feels like this is just a Rudy type story. You know, at the end he's going to beat it.
Oh, yeah. Santa came through.
Feel good.
Feel good.
Australia has it figured out right now, don't they?
Well, see, that's funny. I the last I had heard of Australia is they were still completely locked down or whatever because they had opened and they had closed, then they opened, then they closed, and then who knows where they're at now. All I know is the West Coast Eagles, dude, with Bailey, are about to run the AFL for the next.
You're goddamn right. No, you got it. The West Coast Eagles. Keep saying it, yeah.
And
right.
Will and behold, we checked this morning. It turns out the grand finale was a couple weeks ago. Season's over.
Who won? Did we win? Western Bulldogs?
Got routed in the championship.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the championship though? Fucking almost flew a flag, pal.
Fucking Melbourne. Melbourne, what the sales?
They won the whole thing?
That was my team, I think.
No, Melbourne wasn't your team.
You had 4 teams and Melbourne wasn't one of them.
Richmond was your team, pal.
I think I switched off with them too at some point.
No.
Specky!
Okay, Diggs. Oh,
This is in your boots there.
watch that foot. Watch that foot. Don't break it again.
There's a lot of glasses over here. Oh! That's a great fucking punch there, dude.
Yeah,
Can you throw it? Can you underhand spin it, or do you have
No.
to?
I think you have to.
Punch it.
You have to bop it. Dun, 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 dun.
Bop it.
I think you have to.
pull it?
And then you punt it everywhere. All they do is punt
Steelers
it.
do that in the offseason.
Stop it.
They play that.
All right, we'll get to the break.
What's your
It's
deal?
It's like training. It's like a cross training. The Seahawks, they do the rugby.
Spank it.
Bop it.
All right, we gotta get to a break. This show stinks. Covered AFL, NFL,
Yeah.
the world.
NBA,
Baseball.
Look at us.
All of it.
the sports.
Sports show, dude.
Golf happens. Golf's out there.
Is
All the
it?
sports.
Yeah,
Something
they're
happening?
Yeah, golf's going. They're swinging.
Rory
There's a
won.
tournament
I think
somewhere.
Rory won this week.
Hey, congrats, Rory. Happy for you,
boy,
man.
Rory.
Way to get back in the winning world.
Let's go.
Bryson playing or what?
No, this is that weird part where it's like it's still a season, but it's not. I don't know.
Oh, a little siesta.
Yeah.
Bryson versus Brooks is happening.
Oh, yeah.
One on
Friday, I think.
one.
Is that Friday?
Oh, yeah.
Big
The
Set
match.
Friday.
Isn't it Friday like
Who's
Black,
commentating that?
Like Black Friday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I don't know who's putting
assumed,
it on. I'm not sure.
Probably
With
Bob
how
Minner.
good he's been on the MLB.
Well, Gumpy, you're muted there early, so we didn't get to hear you bury John Smoltz. Jesus.
Come on.
We got to go to a break. John Smoltz has made Gumpy's list. There's a lot on there. John Smoltz and Joe Buck
just
made
made
it
a
last
list.
night because there was a player named Siri, I guess, on a team, and Joe Buck and Smoltz made about 500 Siri jokes.
45 minutes of this shit.
It's hard to call a game though when the Red Sox are just beating the bag out of the Astros.
Yeah, they got to
game
pass
after
time.
game.
They got to entertain people. Let them do what they got to do, you know?
Smoltz also said every team in baseball cheated like the Astros the other night.
That's true.
That is not true.
That's what we heard. We've heard there's other people that have been fired around the
He
league.
knows more than we do, that's for sure.
Yeah, he knows more than you do, right, doesn't he?
Sure.
Boone still got a job. Somehow.
Yeah,
We're back
shout
in
out
4
Boone.
minutes. Boom, who?
Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Nice guy.
Coach Boone.
Yeah.
Congrats. Let's go. You guys only know 4 plays. But you run great. Coach
Yeah,
Boone.
he sucks.
Tighten up that defense.
I hope
Yost.
they miss the playoffs next year so they can fucking get him out of town. Guy's fucking terrible. He's not the answer. Cashman, you squirmy son of a bitch, you're not the answer either, pal. Fucking sick of it!
Wow.
What does the manager do in baseball?
Everything, dude. You
Makes
kidding me?
the
They do
terrible
a lot.
decisions to go to the bullpen, and then when they're playing like shit, says, you know what? I think I'll get thrown out in the second inning today. That'll give him some juice, and then I can take the fucking day off.
A lot of this shit, too.
Chew seeds and scratch his butt.
A lot of this shit,
a lot
right?
of those.
I mean, you can't make him hit the ball though.
Yeah. You can lead them to water. Okay? Can't make them drink it.
Boom.
They can bring in all the heavy hitters that they needed at free agency trade time or whatever. But it's on the players to hit, isn't it? What can Coach Aaron Boone do to make them even better?
Well, that's where Cashman comes in. You don't trade for a guy who's fucking batting 165, but he's going to hit a homer one every 48 at bats. He's going to strike out the other 47. But that one time we need it, he'll come through. He didn't.
Pete Rose. I mean,
wow, we don't need to get into that. Pete Rose.
He absolutely buried the guy Ty's talking about. It was comedy.
Pete Rose still doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Pete,
He's selling picks, actually.
Pete Rose selling picks?
And he's shooting like 70%.
Let's go! Hey, we're back, Pete.
Not positive on that, but I'm just assuming.
Oh, you just made that up.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. We don't know if Pete's hot or not, but he's doing it.
If history's told us anything.
We don't know what Pete's doing, but we're happy that he's doing.
Yeah.
All right.
Put him in the hall.
Get Jim Leland in there.
Oh, man. Those photos of him smoking butts in the dugout. I would have played baseball a long time ago if I saw Jim Leland doing that.
Well, Jim Leland, mayor. The mayor loves All right. We're back in 4 minutes. This is too much baseball. And now we're going inside baseball.
True.
Inside our show. We're going inside baseball. We're back in 4 minutes. 1-833-4 McAfee. Hit us up on the 5 Energy phone line. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday starts in about 30 minutes. I assume the show will get better then. Not hope for much. See you in
Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
For every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comment section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd be 3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're going to puke?
Oh, I do.
And that milk looks ice cold, too.
No!
Beer that broke my heart. Hey, one more. Yep. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not great. Oh, God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Yikes.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. SeatGeek came up clutch to make sure the boys weren't sitting on the roof at Soldier Field this past weekend. But maybe the best thing they've done of all time is make all football tickets 15% off to all users.
Whoa. Hell yeah.
No code. Just click the link in the description of our bio here in youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. And 15% off code will be auto-applied to your account. Doesn't matter if you've already purchased on SeatGeek. We have no clue how long this offer is going to last, so jump on it now. We're 7 weeks in. Hopefully this thing will continue to go. SeatGeek wants you to get out and enjoy a game, enjoy life. Ty, you got to do this past weekend up in Chicago at the game where Aaron Rodgers told everybody that he owned them.
Yep.
What was it like to get back out there and feel the energy of a live game?
Oh, it was incredible. There were probably like another 40,000 fans around the stadium who didn't actually go to SeatGeek, so they didn't get to go in. You know, just big tailgates everywhere. The beers were ice cold in the stadium. It was great. It was great to be back in public with fans.
Yelling alongside others.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's nice to live a little, and SeatGeek wants you to do that. Just click the link in a bio or youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show video that is running right now live, and you'll get auto-applied 15% off. Couple things around the NFL. Urban Meyer compared the locker room after their first win in London to his national title, wins. The emotionalness of it, because he came out and talked about how, it's one that's special, he'll remember forever. And Michael DiRocco at ESPN DiRocco asked a very deep question to Urban Meyer. I asked Jaguars coach Urban Meyer today if the post-game locker room Sunday was as emotional as he's been around after a game outside of the ones after he won national titles at UF and Ohio State. I think it was. Maybe even including some of those big ones.
Wow.
So an emotional locker room whenever the Jacksonville Jaguars get their first win as a team this year. Urban gets his first win as a pro. Trevor Lawrence and many others. Your thoughts on this, AJ? Is he saying that the national title didn't make him feel anything? And winning in the NFL is the only thing that matters, AJ? Is that what Urban Meyer's saying down there in Duval in London?
Well, I don't think that's exactly what he's saying, but I think it's a little bit surprising because every victory he had in college, he didn't enjoy at all. He was just, all right, on to the next one. I got to recruit guys right now. We can't ever lose a game. I'll get fired. That's what coaches think when they're at big-time universities like he was. And now I'm guessing he wants to get to the point where wins aren't a big deal for him, the Jags. It's just what you expect to do.
When we talked to Mac Brown, he said at Texas at the end of his run there for numerous years, if he won, it was a relief. And if he lost, it was devastating. And he said there was no more fun ever. And I think why Urban said this, because this is one he'll remember forever. I assume just like after the national titles, you look around the room, you try to remember things, you try to take the moment in and be like, hey, this is a very cool thing I would like to carry with me for a long time. I assume he did that same thing whenever he did the 1, 2, and 3 things that we need to keep focused on. The last one was who are you doing it with? All right, who you're doing it with is what it's all about. The men in this room, we're going to go ahead and have to trust each other and continue to build. There were some people saying that it looked like that locker room was was not all in on Urban at the time. It looked like a joyful conversation happening after their first win, and Urban had command of the locker room. I disagree with some of those people's thoughts.
Yeah, and for Urban, too, we know every week's like playing Alabama, so it is like he won a national championship when you win in London week 6 when you're 1-5 going forward in the NFL.
Well, that team's had to make a lot of big decisions. They sent Lambo out of town. The kicker, Josh Lambo's been around there for the last, 6, 7, I don't know how, seems like a long time. He's been a great kicker. Started out a little cold, had an injury. He's coming back, alleged to have come back. They're keeping Matthew Wright. There's Joe DeCamillis in the background there, special teams coordinator, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, now at the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're keeping Matthew Wright on the roster as Lambo hits free agency. Josh Lambo, fun fact, MLS goalkeeper for some time. Great athlete. Came over to kicking world in the NFL. Had great. He kicked differently a little bit. His stroke was a little bit different because he was clearly a goalkeeper kicking like a goal kick or whatever. But he was good for a long time. Loved everything about watching him play. Great athlete. I think he sings the guitar, or plays the guitar and sings and everything.
Wow.
One of the most interesting dudes out there. I assume he's going to find a new home quick.
Wait, when was he in the MLS?
I don't know. We'd have to know how long he was with Jaguars because I said 6 years, 5 years, but who knows if that was right or not. It feels like it was before then. He was in the MLS though.
So he went from college to the MLS to the NFL. I had no idea if that's the case.
And me neither. I didn't know that either, by the way, because somebody put together a soccer team. If the NFL was to make a soccer team, and I was on that list, and Odell Beckham was on there, and a couple other people, known soccer players maybe around the league. There were some kickers on there, some punters, but a lot more like whatever. I forget how.
Chad Johnson.
Bingo, yeah. Like it was stuff like it was guys who, if they were to focus on soccer, I think how it would go. And I was pumped to be on there. Thought it was accurate too, by the way. But I was pumped to be on there. And people were like, "How is Josh Lambert on this team?" And Josh used to play soccer. And my first thought was, "Oh, come on, everybody fucking played soccer, Josh." And then I looked up. I was like, "Oh no, this fucking guy played." Yeah, he is really, really good. So I think he'll find a new team quickly, and who knows how it'll work out with Matthew Wright. I hope fantastically down there in Jacksonville.
Is it weird? I saw Trevor Lawrence got the game ball, his first professional career win. Urban didn't. Does the coach normally get the game ball on their first win?
So owner would come in normally and give game ball to coach. And he was in the building, right, because Urban pointed at him and said, "We got a great owner." Normally, I think it's normally owner or older player on team will maybe.
Or quarterback or older vet, usually, yeah.
Yeah, Herbert gave it to Staley after their first one, I believe.
Wow.
But they only do that if they like and respect the guy, right? And they
Well,
always hate
Jace,
Urban.
Urban got the game ball before they won an actual game, so he's good.
All right, Gump. The Gump's got a list, okay?
It is
Gump's
long.
got a list, and he does not care. He will snipe from the paint yard.
What do you mean by
the
that?
shipyard?
Laundry list.
Well, I think he said Chop House was the game ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the fence.
Third angle.
Let's go to the
The
fence.
elusive third angle's out
It's
there.
got to be tough. It's
Hey,
got
that
to be
was
tough for
trending
her
this.
herbs, though.
That was trending this morning. That there's a potential third video that is worse and more damning.
Yeah, the holy grail of them all.
Who knows
There's rumors of another video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if there's smoke, normally there's a chance. And I did wonder how, if that video was so carelessly put out there, and it seemed like there was other people in the potential place. Everything's on camera at this point.
Yeah.
Everything you do, you need to act as such. That's why whenever I'm commentating at SmackDown, and there's 10,000 people surrounding me, and it's at a commercial break or whatever, so I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm like, everybody is literally I can't just look like a stooge. Like, hey, Cole, we can't just look like stooges here because somebody's filming something at some point here. So it's literally like I tried the entire time. Like, I commentate when we're not on air. I try to, at least, and I try to interact and do the whole thing. You're always on camera though, especially if you're Urban Meyer at your Chop House. So I was very confused about how only two videos. Now allegedly a third one's out, but I think the world is past it. I think the world.
I don't know. I think we might be
What if
past
we
it.
see that third video and it's a Coach O situation?
What's a Coach O situation?
Well, Urban's hanging brain out of his zipper, and his penis is just sitting out there in the Chop House. Then what do we do?
Did that happen?
It might have.
Did that happen to Coach O?
It was never substantiated, but we've seen what Coach O's been doing in his free time. So who knows?
Yeah. Look, I sat in gum.
Yeah. What if Urban's sitting in gum
And
on a stool?
Not putting it past Urban to just have it in public, honk, honk, real quick when he's just hanging. Yeah, for sure. Hey, let me squeeze your butt.
That is the opinions of those also with microphones. Do not reflect that of anybody else.
It hasn't been substantiated.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
you too.
I'm not
Hands up.
saying
Did you
that.
see both hands?
It's a gospel.
Todd, is it worse if he just has his balls out or if he
All
just has his
right,
shot?
all right. Listen, we don't know what that video allegedly
Balls are
contains.
less offensive.
I mean, if it's just his balls, then he's a sicker
All right.
bastard than we
All
thought.
right.
Then we know it's a practical joke.
Yeah. If it's the balls, he can just say he sat in gum and he's good. But if it's
Could be a Hummer guy,
Maybe we'll see how this
Look
goes.
at my bat wing.
Okay. All right.
Maybe a female hyena situation.
Let him fly. Let him fly.
Oh, you're right, Connor.
This is the last one. All right. Oh, God. All right. All right. Let
I'm
him-
done. I'm done.
All right. Jimmy G looks like he's ready.
Look at you bringing it all back together.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You're a true host.
Well, I just know that everything we say makes its way to said person that we were talking about. Every single thing. And it's like, I think we did our stern but fair coverage
Yeah.
of that.
But if this third video is more damning, as they say, it is tough not to immediately go. But we're not there yet.
We're not
there yet.
We're not there yet.
And, maybe it does get back to Urban, but if he's worried about us and not the other fish that he needs to fry right now, then he's got more things coming.
No, I don't think he's worried about us, but I'm just saying, if that is the case, you guys should act as such that you just did.
Uh-huh.
But who knows?
We don't know.
We don't. Oh, now you're saying.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if that comes out, I'm not going to be shocked.
No.
You know?
You said, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire.
I mean, what else could it show,
Especially in
though?
a chop
What would a
house.
third angle show?
No, listen. We are not doing any of that, okay? We will wait to see what.
It's not like we're going to go to Pornhub or X videos or anywhere and start digging for it. But if it happens to come across your timeline.
Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback for the Niners, looks to be making a full healthy return after.
Calf looks good.
Calf does look great. It's fantastic. He looks to be running in slow motion here, but he's in a deep squat. His calves are flexed. Could you imagine if Urban Meyer's balls are out at that job?
I honestly couldn't.
I mean, how could it get worse?
Wait, who said that's not a rumor, is it?
No, well, I mean, there was.
It's a rumor.
There was some.
I'm just connecting dots. I'm not saying they're there, but
All right,
I'm just
let's move on.
potentially.
All right, let's move on. We have to.
Oh man.
How am I supposed to, though? I just tried my best there. But them saying this one's going to be worse, you have to think how.
Yeah.
How? And then in whose eyes is it worse? What is, I
think everybody's.
No, but how many people have seen it? Only a couple people have seen it, right? Because it hasn't made its way out yet. It's only been rumored to.
Yeah, allegedly.
No, the video
If
is
it's
not
there,
out
it'll be
yet.
out.
Just his balls.
We will
No,
find it.
see, that's.
Set
Let's
him
go
on
to
a
the
plate
fu-
and said, "You want some fried mushrooms?"
I'm just kidding. It's my testicles.
Would you guys like a? Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Caleb down here in Florida. Caleb, what's going on, man? What's going on, Caleb? What do you want to talk about,
A
dude?
big jug of popcorn on his lap.
Hey,
Get some. There's no hole in the bottom.
Who ordered the pizza?
Big sausage pizza bar.
I mean, this is the problem, though. I know his kids.
Hey,
Like,
sorry,
I have to
Caleb.
get
Gonna
part
put you back on hold, pal. We got to close some things.
I feel bad for everybody involved around the situation.
Sorry, Age.
I know you said that before. Oh, I'm not shying away from it. I'm
Cry
just
me
saying.
a river, Hawk.
Go
to hell, dude.
Pat said he knows it gets back to people. Yeah, okay. I know it'll get back to people that I will run into.
Yeah, on a regular basis. Just let them know that if any of that happens, this is probably, they can prepare. This is how the show will act.
Yeah.
Okay, if any of it happens. So they
fair and balanced. You always say
Stern but fair.
Stern but fair.
And balance.
Oh, you always told me fair and balanced.
What is that?
Of course, fair and balanced as well. That is something we will always strive to be, but I think we always say we're stern but fair, because in some situations, you got to be a bit stern.
Yeah.
In that particular one, hey, you're representing the league, pal. And I can't believe Urban Meyer didn't fly back home on that plane with his team.
Still mind blowing.
Let's go to the phone call here before the hour ends. And honestly, I don't know how we're supposed to talk about anything other than that. Jordan, Michigan. What's going on, Jordan?
Hey, good afternoon, y'all. How's everything going on this beautiful Aaron Rodgers Tuesday?
A lot better than Urban Meyer's balls if they are presented.
Well, maybe not.
I'm joking. Jordan, what would you like to talk about, dude? It is hard not to, though. I'm trapped in it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, first of all, Coach Conway, my wife and I just binge watched all of Yellowstone, and November 7th cannot come soon enough.
Okay, awesome.
Hell yeah.
What do you binge watch?
November 7th.
Yellowstone.
Oh.
November 7th new season, I believe.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Tone?
Yeah.
November 7th on what? Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner's hitting the horseback again.
Yeah.
And he's going to go run some shit out in the Montana hills.
Yes.
I didn't watch the first one. He killed a guy?
Oh, he's been doing plenty.
I don't want to spoil it.
He kills a guy?
What do you mean?
Does he sit in gum?
Has he killed a guy?
Yeah, that's all he does. What's that?
He's taking a few guys at the train station, yeah.
Zeke with a shot from the rafters.
Yeah, I did sit on gum. I mean, it's hour 2, hour 3 has to be much different than hour 2. You know, sometimes the show really hits a rock bottom.
What about horse?
I feel like we reached it there.
It would suck to actually sit in gum, though, like if you really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Or if somebody's balls are out next.
Hey, listen, this hour, it's ending in 30 seconds.
Yep.
Anybody got anything else?
I ended about 2 minutes ago.
Get it out, boys.
All right, let
Fried
me know.
mushrooms is my last
All
one.
right, hey, I'm happy you got it out.
Thank you.
Well, AJ feigning sympathy for the family.
Ah.
When in reality it was, I'm going to have to run into these people. I'm going to have to talk to them.
Yeah, I am. I will. I do.
Do you have anything else to say about Urban's balls?
No, I don't. I mean, I didn't hear anything about it. I'm learning of these rumors from you guys.
Bullshit.
Hour 3 is on the other side. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. See you then. Every Tuesday this football season, joining us, Aaron Rodgers. Every Tuesday. With that doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're both 10-1. I have long hair, and I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, and we both said, this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed. Yeah!
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. To get sentimental, this show is just another step in that.
What is the longest you've ever thrown? Do you even know that number or do you not care?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
I sometimes laugh when people talk about, down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
That was awesome! You said in the interview that you would add an extra finger to your scotch drink or whatever.
It was a long night. We didn't get home. I didn't get home till like 11:40.
Look at how much scotch that is. Is that what you did?
It's not that much.
That's 4 fingers, dude. You said you normally do 3. That's 4 right there.
But you have those fat sausages.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth?
One main reason. It is a true team sport. The love is not just about our sport. It's about competition. I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. Yeah, they wouldn't show it because I play for the Packers, but I had a pretty sweet no-looker to Devontae on the last drive that kind of set up for a few plays.
I'm so thankful Patrick Mahomes brought that into the NFL.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Yeah, I know. It's just none of us been doing it for long. A guy who probably doesn't get anywhere near the credit. We're doing shit like that all the time. He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit.
There's a massive water pipe out there with vitamins, and I've been going pretty ham at that. Maybe that is the problem.
Hey guys, it's a plant, bro.
That's all it is.
That's it. A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We know. We know. We don't like that.
Swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. A swag is a mentality. Swag is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset. A lot of you guys are just posers. I am very thankful for you guys, for this show, for the opportunity to have this Tuesday. I'm not going to say that it's the reason why we've played so well and I've had a good season, but I can definitely say that it's been a positive contributor the entire year, and I do have a lot of thanks and gratitude for that.
Aaron, thank you, Aaron. No. Don't you thank us. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you on here. I feel like I've learned so much about not only you, but life and football. Do you have any hilarious interactions with fans? Anybody ever say something just absolutely despicable to you?
There's been a bunch over the years. I think the rowdiest and the biggest trash talkers and the funniest trash talkers are in Philly.
Oh, yeah, me too.
One of my idols growing up was Alex Trebek. They're doing some guest hosting spots, and it's going to be released here pretty soon, but I have the opportunity to do one of those.
Let's go! I am so thankful you joined us, man. The mustache looks incredible, and the fact you're wearing that shirt, I am eternally grateful for, pal.
Well, yeah, we might as well drop some bombs on this show. There's no scrubs out there.
Have you watched the film on the game yet? Will you watch the film?
Yeah, I think like 4:20 on Saturday, probably p.m. Central Time.
Were you at all surprised to see the wild speculation out there after your post-game comments?
I don't feel like I said anything that I hadn't said before. It was more a realization, I think. Ultimately, my future is not necessarily in my control. Now, obviously, after the season that I had and, potentially win an MVP, and we obviously made it another good run, I don't think that there's any reason why I wouldn't be back. I don't think people are used to hearing the truth from athletes. So when they hear the truth, it's so surprising at times. That's why this show, I think, has been so different. There's times where you let your mind go to maybe, I'm going to be a Packer for life. I'm going to be like a Tim Duncan or a Jeter or a Kobe and play with one team my entire career. I think naturally you dream about that.
I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human.
And you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't like some agenda doing this. It was like, fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week? Yeah, sounds pretty awesome. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me.
You know what? I'll say it. What? Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is happening.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 with the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the NFL will begin immediately following this speech drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. AJ Hawk sporting a Chuck Berry t-shirt in an attic in Ohio. Tone Diggs in his platform COVID cowboy area, the toxic table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, everybody in the back, and the world has been awaiting this conversation that's about to take place right here. As an incredible group of dumbasses gets a chance to chat with a man who shut down the internet after a statement, after scoring an end zone, scoring a touchdown on a run in an end zone in Chicago, then telling Chicago that he owns them. Ladies and gentlemen, Green Bay Packer quarterback, founder of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, current MVP, number 12 for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. What's up? Yeah! What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Age. You still wearing that same shirt, Age, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Hey, it was his 95th birthday. You know, it was his 95th birthday yesterday, but have some respect for some of the legends.
All right, happy birthday, Chuck Berry. Obviously, Chuck Berry, incredible at music, and AJ doesn't know anything about any of that. He only knows about his home video collection. Aaron, it is fantastic seeing you here today. How's the body feel? How is life? How are you with week 7 on the horizon here?
Yeah, body feels great. Tuesdays is a special day for me. I get to squat in the morning, and not even on my home gym. I get to squat at the facility, and then I got a massage, and then I get to talk to you guys. So it's a nice little Tuesday, I'd say.
Well, people forget about your legs. I think that is potentially why you had to remind some folks there that we are still squatting around here. And this past week, you looked quick. I tweeted early in the game that you looked faster than Tyreek Hill. You started out to the right there. Then you had a quarterback sneak where it looked like you enjoyed being in the middle of the pile and kind of mixing it up. And then obviously that touchdown where you scamper in, get pushed late as you're going in there. Incredibly athletic. Roll to the knee to the biggest belt we have ever seen. Welcome back, by the way, and I don't know if that was in response to Quinn doing the belt or not, but then you stand up and you state something to a crowd of people in Chicago that'll be talked about forever. You have said that you saw one lady flipping you off. You blacked out and went banana lands and said one of the greatest, most epic quotes of all time. Pictures have shown that it wasn't just a lady, by the way. It seemed like all of Chicago was flipping you off. Was that something that just happened spur of the moment? Do you believe that you own Chicago, Aaron Rodgers? Is that the case?
It was definitely spur of the moment. And I am proud of my runs. You know, there's been some local media folks in Green Bay who've, you know, talked ad nauseum about my decreasing ability to kind of get out of the pocket and make things happen. So to have an explosive run on the first possession, to have a sneak, which, you know, that was really for my teammates, because especially David Bakhtiari, the biggest troll in the facility now that Corey Linsley's not there anymore, he loves to tell me what an awful quarterback sneak guy I am. I mean, it's one of his favorite things to do. So to be able to pull that one out and to be able to get the old pump fake working to get in the end zone was pretty special. Now, when I got in the end zone, and I watched it back, and I don't think Eddie really hit me. I mean, it was very close to the goal line, so I don't think there was a malicious hit from Eddie Jackson there. But I've done that a few times, kind of maybe eased up a little bit too early on the sidelines. Julius Peppers, my old teammate, rocked me in 2008 against Carolina on the sidelines. That's when I thought I'd learned my lesson. Obviously not, but Eddie didn't hit me as hard as he could have. But when I got down to my knee and I looked up, all I could see and hear was obscenities. And I don't know, just spur of the moment hit my mind. I talked about, you know, the blacking out idea. The blacking out is just things happen that are they're not planned. You know, I didn't plan on telling the crowd that I own them. I think based on the statistical reference of my career win percentage down there and against them, definitely our teams have done some good things. I know I used I a few times, but I do feel like it's a we thing. Okay. Really, since Favre took over, we've flipped that entire series on its head. I think when Favre took over, we were double digits in the hole in the all-time series. The series has been going on for 100 years plus, and now we're 7 up. So it feels good to be on this side of it, and that was a special moment looking back. I didn't realize how crazy it would go, and, you know, teammates chiming in from MVS to my buddy Kurt, Ben Kurt is in our room, you know, our third-string quarterback, to just about everybody. I love the response of my teammates backing me up. The belt was not a response to Robert Quinn. I actually didn't even see him do it. And like I said, you know, after the game, I like Robert a lot. I think he's a good human, and I've played against him a number of times on a couple different teams, and so he's not somebody that I would have a problem with doing the belt. But that was definitely spur of the moment, and you know, it was fun. I don't regret it at all.
How quickly did you learn after you offended Zito and the rest of all of the people in Chicago? Did you learn that, hey, this is a thing? Like, did you get to the sidelines and a couple minutes later, Big Tom and some PR people were like, hey, you're going to have to answer some questions about this one?
Tom Fanning told me about it after the game. A lot of times, I mean, it's not you know, a rare thing to happen. There's always trash talk between fans and players. I mean, I've heard some of the most ridiculous things and craziest combination of words and slurs and insults over the years on the road, and there's back and forth from time to time. It's rare that it gets picked up the way it did on Sunday. So it's you know, it's not like that was you know, something that never happened. There's always conversation between players and fans, and most opposing fans are like the Chicago fans. There's not the happiest and friendliest of back and forths. But I found out about it after the game, and I realized that it was, you know, probably going to be a thing. Not maybe as big a thing as it went to, you know, with, you know, some of the things that I saw. But that is the state of our media. And let me just, and really our culture, not just media, but that's the state of our culture, I think, this woke PC culture. And if I may just, you know, elaborate just slightly on my feelings on this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. This is awesome.
I think that in general, my feelings are this. There's a PC woke culture that exists, and there's a cancel culture at the same time. And it's based on people's own feelings of maybe personal miserability or distaste for their own situations or life, or just an enjoyment of holding other people down underneath their thumb. But when you engage in this culture, you're immersed in it, and you're in it so much. And for me, when I took time in the off season to work on myself and to work on my mental status and to get myself in the right frame of mind, I was being selfish, right? That's what, or non-responsive and selfish and entitled. When I, came back and said what I said, what I felt like was at the right time, and spoke the truth, the same sentiments were shared. Maybe not by as many people, because I think a lot of people respected what I said, but the same sentiments were shared. When these ridiculous sentiments and storylines and narratives get drawn on about me, about pick a topic, from my family to my leadership style to and they just go on and people start thinking, well, he hasn't responded to it, so it must be true, right? And they run with these stories, right? But then when I respond to it and set the record straight, when I finally said, okay, enough is enough. This thing has gotten so far and it's so ridiculous at this point, then I'm being sensitive. When week one, I have been there, unfortunately, before in a few dud games, and people think I don't have enough passion. I don't care about what's going on. Then I'm passionless. I'm not all in. When I make a statement after a touchdown run and puts up 2 scores, now I'm not a sportsman. Now I'm making this shit about me. This is the thing that goes on, and ultimately, Pat, there's a game within the game, right? And in this game, there's a player and there's a game. And if the player abides by the rules of the game, he's a part of the game. Now, the rules of the game are that you must acquiesce with the woke mob at all times. You must. However, when you live above the game does not exist. And Pat, that's where I'm at. These things, I realize them, I see them, but I'm not a part of this game that's being played. This game is being played out by these individuals, and I see it, I hear it, but to me, it's comedy. It's not.
Okay, Aaron, can I ask you, and that was, by the way, I'm incredibly happy and proud that we are the platform that you get a chance to speak for yourself on, by the way. So, hey, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Love you.
This makes me think, though, and by the way, you are everything that happens in your life is chatted about by everybody, which I think is obviously an incredible gift because you've had this opportunity to have this career that you've had, and being the MVP of the NFL, people are naturally going to speak about you. And then obviously it's a curse when everything that you do is put under a spotlight. And I think you've understood that that is your life for some time. And I appreciate the fact that we're getting to know a little bit more about you. Did you think that it was more a negative response to the I still own you thing? Because I'm going to be honest, maybe I just have too many blinders on. Everybody I saw loved it. I mean, Chicago isn't going to love it, but everybody, like, I don't know if you heard Darius Butler came on yesterday. And he was like, to see a quarterback act like that is awesome, because normally quarterbacks are always the right answer, and I think this is what you're referring to. Always in cliches, always working hard, always this, and as soon as you step out of line a little bit, I could see there being a little bit of negativity, but at this point, wasn't everybody on your side, or was there people actually attacking you in this particular world?
Well, I don't know about attacking. I mean, Tom sends me choice articles from time to time about what is being said about certain things. I mean, my teammates and the organization, I think, really loved it. I think most Packer fans enjoyed it as well.
Hey, we loved it. Hey, we loved it. Zito?
No, hated it.
Okay, see, it's from Chicago. He was supposed to hate it. He was supposed to.
I saw Olin Kreutz said he wanted to punch me in the face. Look, I think that is to say, and I don't know Olin, and I respect him. He played in the league for a long time, but are we getting that soft as a society that we can't have worth now? I mean, somebody can pay for a ticket and say whatever the hell they want, which I think they should be able to. That's fine. But the one time you say something back to them, that gets caught on it, that gets caught on hot mic, which, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that gets said from time to time. Now it's that, I've disrespected, an entire city and organization and my own organization.
Well, and Justin Fields, you said Justin Fields stinks whenever you told Chicago that you owned him or whatever. You're an asshole. I guess I did see those. I'm sorry. I'm just now realizing that you were a terrible person for it, although in my house and in where we are, like, that is the coolest thing we've seen in some time. I said it was going to go down as something to talk about
people talk about forever is like Randy Moss. Okay, the TO with the autograph, the ball, and you telling a city that you own them when you're 22-5 against them. Fucking some of the greatest competitive trash talk in the history of trash talk.
Well, back when I first got in the league and when I grew up watching it, I feel like trash talk was a little more normalized, and you didn't have to, apologize if you said something that offended, a few people in a city. And, like I said, I have a lot of respect for the city and for the sports fans. It's been a great rivalry over the years. Thank you. But we have gotten the better of them for a while now. I don't think I was saying anything that wasn't necessarily close to the truth. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But let me just clear up one thing as well that you were talking about. Like, I'm so fortunate for this platform, especially this one, to be on here talking with you guys. Like, it means a lot to me because I think people get to see me in a little bit of a different light. That I'm not a repeating robot, cliche-ridden leader of a franchise. I actually have a personality and thoughts and opinions that I think align with most people. But I'm not a victim either. I'm not a victim. I don't look at myself as a victim, or I don't want people to feel bad for me because of the spotlight that I'm in and the platform that I have and the scrutiny that comes with it. I accept all of it. I really do. I don't have a problem with it. I just think that it is, for me, it helps me to keep sane when I can recognize and point out that there is this culture that exists that gets off, I think, on shrinking people, keeping them small, keeping them in a box, quieting them through cancelization or demeaning comments, and that I also exist outside of that in a different realm where I do feel confident in things I say, and I do stand behind what I do, and I like to speak the truth, and I'm not a part of this woke cancel culture that gets off on trying to silence people all the time.
You said you are you're above the game, or you see it, you understand it's out there, but it doesn't really affect your day to day or anything going on in your life. Have you always been like that, or did you feel like earlier in your career was there ever times where you like, oh man, I'm paying too much attention, good or bad, to what's going on around me?
Well, Age, you've known me for a long time, and I've always been more of a private person. I just felt like that was the best way to handle business issues in my own family, relational things, issues with the organization. I just, that's kind of been my way of doing things. And when you do that, sometimes you allow this narrative to kind of run wild. It wasn't the same 15 years ago, but in today's day and age, it's better to write an article that has a catchy, tagline than to get some sort of response from both sides. So that's why I enjoy this show, because it allows me to actually set the record straight on some of these things. And I don't think when I was younger, I just enjoyed my privacy and I wouldn't respond to certain things I didn't want to, because I believed in keeping my relationships private and having sacred spaces of energy for those those type of relationships. Now I still believe in having a good balance and separation, but I'm not afraid to rewrite these false narratives that are out there. That gives me the opportunity or the power to take back some of those narratives that were false when they were written and continue to be false if they're propagated at this point.
Well, and I think that was kind of I don't want to say the basis for why Aaron Rodgers Tuesday started, but in the Bahamas, we had a 14-hour rain delay, and we're just sitting there. Ty drank all of the Jack, I think, that the entire golf course had. I might have had all of the beer, but we were sitting down just chit-chatting, and I didn't know much about you at that point. All I had known as basically what I heard and what I had seen from you on the internet and what you played football and what teammates had said about you that maybe came to the Colts and chit-chatted. But as we chatted there for, I don't know, it felt like a couple hours, at the end of it, I was like, man, nobody knows any of this shit about you. And the reason why I know that is because I don't know any of this shit about you, and I feel like this could potentially be a cool thing. And that was when you said, I've just always decided to kill him with indifference or whatever. So I'm very thankful that as you've kind of got to a point in your life where you can say no, there's some bullshit that has been said about me. That's a big deal, Aaron. Hey, It's a big step. Look at us, we're taking big time fucking steps around here. You are the universe, dude.
I saw what you posted earlier. I'm assuming you didn't read it, and neither did any of the guys, but I'm thankful for the notes that they get passed along to you, and I hope at some point you or your lovely wife can, spend some time reading that and learn. But there's a reason that it's number 6 in the list. It's because I think the other ones you should maybe start with those. And actually, book number 7 is an easy read as well. That I look forward to you reading at some point.
Okay, well, I can't wait for book number 7 here for the Aaron Rodgers book club. But I'll tell you,
Berenstain Bears.
what do you? Hey, Berenstain Bears would be dope. How about a coloring book too, huh? Just like a bye week. You know what I mean? It's like a bye week. Like maybe I don't know, something to think about. You do. It's your book club. Okay, it's not ours. I'm just throwing out ideas here. What do you think? No, we won't get to the book club yet. I got a question on how you think Einstein would align with Ram Dass. I mean, now that you've kind of put both of these things into the world with this book club, but let's continue to talk about you playing the football at a very high level. And we'll kind of put a bow on this entire Chicago conversation. The fact that it's still a real rivalry is cool to me. Like, I think that is very cool to me. I don't know how often that happens in the NFL. I know there's divisional rivals and everything like that, but as players come and go, they're not as tied to the rivalry as maybe in college you would be, because you're there for 4 or 5 years and you kind of know, and it's bought in. The fact that the Packers and the Bears are a rivalry still, I think, is amazing. And I don't know if you're a big part of upholding that, because he told us that Big Mike would show videos of all these highlight hits between the Bears and the Packers over the years. But did you, when you said and got to the point of ownership over Chicago, that is something like I think you took real, like you take that to heart, like that the Packers are better than the Bears over your tenure and over Favre's. And then you were asked afterwards if this was potentially going to be the last time you get to do this to Chicago as a Packer in this rivalry. And I think you said something about you're not so sure that this is the last one. Have you thought about long-term in this world? And I know you're very much be present, be in there, but whenever you said you weren't sure if this was going to be the last one, or you don't think that's going to be the case, you alluded to basically like being in Chicago and potentially landlording them again. But have you had a chance to think about your future and what the world is? Because outside, the conversation is very loud from every single city that thinks they potentially will get Aaron Rodgers.
To be frank, before the game, I was thinking about how many times we've been in that locker room, and that was my 18th time in the locker room, my 15th time, 14th time starting against them at Soldier Field. And anybody who's been in that locker room knows it's one of the smaller locker rooms in the NFL. I'm always tucked kind of back in the left in the same spot next to Mace, and a lot of times the hot water doesn't work. It's just like one of those, and you don't even mind. It's just one of those things. The hot water, by the way, was working after the game, so big thank.
Way to go, Chicago.
A couple times it hasn't been over the years. Maybe that's because the pipes are just so goddamn frozen because of the cold weather we played in. But I was wondering what it would feel like to walk off the field, and in that moment, if it would feel like it was going to be my last time or not. And so I was generally looking forward to what that felt like. And the way I felt walking off the field was why I answered the question the way I answered it. It didn't feel like the last time, for whatever reason. I'm not sure why necessarily, but energetically it didn't feel like it was the last time walking off that field. It was a special feeling, again, to win at that place, to win by double digits, an important game for us. But also to talk about how special the rivalry is, I did mention that to Justin after the game. I got a chance to meet him and talk about how much I've admired watching him play so far in his young career. But also told him how special the rivalry is, and just to embrace it, and that I hope he gets many years of enjoying this rivalry, because it is one of those special things. And I think for whatever reason, some of that rivalry may have, luster might wane from year to year, but it doesn't wane for the fans, not at all. It doesn't wane for those of us who love the history of the NFL and the history of rivalries like this. It's always going to be special. I've obviously played in more of them than anybody on our squad, and there's been some amazing victories, some tough losses as well. Thankfully, more of those victories. But there's been some iconic players who played in this rivalry for the last, 100 years. Most of the names you think about are in the, got a yellow jacket. They're in the Hall of Fame. And you look around at our stadium at the names in the bowl, and look around their stadium. There's some of the people who made the league what the league is played in that Bears-Packers rivalry, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch it unfold, the I Own You thing. I think that's why it was so big, because their fans are so passionate about it. You're still passionate about it in a world where it seems like being passionate about something like that might not be something that most people are doing anymore. So I think it's incredibly cool. Let's talk about the team that you have, winning by 20 or something. Hey, your squad's getting hot. You guys look like the Packers last year at the end of the season. Now, obviously, not the end of the season, but you know what I'm talking about. It feels like the team is really hitting a groove, and we're about to get some players healthy as well. You guys have to be feeling great about everything.
Yeah, we're feeling good about things. We need to get healthy, though. We have a lot of guys banged up. A lot of guys that we counted on being in the season to play, big time snaps for us haven't played. So we've had to rely on a lot of backups and third stringers, but those backups and third stringers, when they play on the field, they're starters. And there's an expectation when you get on the field of your performance. And I'm really proud of those guys, the way they played. Proud of guys like Lucas Patrick, came in early in that game, started a game earlier in the season, been an interior backup for us, and played fantastic. Proud of John Runyon, proud of Yash Nishman, proud of Royce Newman, our rookie. Proud of maybe the unsung hero of the offensive line, Billy Turner. Billy Turner needs to get consideration for the Pro Bowl. I think I know we're only six games in, but he has played outstanding. Yeah, he really has. He is a master of his craft. Nobody works harder at his craft than Billy does. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of Elton for coming back from his injury and playing left tackle for us. Not sure what Dave's status is going to be, but we're all excited. He's expecting some sort of parade or, shenanigans for him returning to practice this week. We'll see what we have in store for him. But we got to get healthy, that's for sure. But to be 5-1 with the injuries that we had during this season and the schedule that we had is great. You look at our schedule moving forward, we have a tough stretch. We play a Washington team who's going to be in need of a victory, a short week against Arizona, and a longer week at Kansas City. So that's what's in front of us in the next three. And we're going to have to get healthy and play some of our best football.
A two-part question for me. First, what's it like with LaFleur? I joked earlier about how you come off the field and like to beat each other up. When you get excited, it seems like your relationship is growing and growing. Is he throwing little jabs in your helmet at you, like in the speaker at times, like when you guys go back and forth? I know you have a weird sense of humor. And also, when you're on IR, do you usually run solo 2-minute drills?
Bro, he broke a huddle, Aaron. He broke a huddle, dude. Have it. It was awesome.
You know what? I'm not even going to touch that one. I think it's already been commented on enough.
Why don't you visualize a little bit, Aaron? Might be better. You ever think about it?
You're above the game.
I will say that one of my favorite comments was from TJ Lang. You saw what TJ posted. Something about this is what passion looks like and tagged me on it. And I can only imagine how many people thought he was being serious. I think I could speak for TJ and say he wasn't.
No. No, wow.
But to answer your question, Matt and I are great. It's a fun relationship because he's definitely wound a little tighter than I am. So there's multiple times where I like to mess with him on the field, act like I can't hear what he's saying, and tap my helmet, and then watch him start to, a little bit kind of freak out just a little bit. Is he pressing the button down right? Is it off? Is he yelling? Does he yell at the, the sound guy, the audio guy? And then I look over and laugh and kind of wave or something. But what often happens and happened in the game on Sunday was there'll be a time and he'll tell me to play, and then I might have been in a conversation with somebody in the huddle and not gotten it. And then I'll kind of give one of these, hey, one more time, please. And they'll tell me to play again. And then they'll tell me maybe a coaching point that he wants to make sure I remember. And then he'll tell me to play again. And it'll kind of draw on like this. And it was during a TV timeout or the 2-minute warning or something. And it was before that. It was during a TV timeout. I looked over and I was like, hey, I got it, man. And you can see him go, okay, oh, yeah, you're right. Too much. But that's what I love about Matt, because he cares about it so much. And that's why you have to have that balance of him and Hackett. Hackett being definitely more laid back, and him being wound more tight, and how they work together. And then play caller to quarterback, him being wound really tight, and me, being less wound tight. And us, we have a good back and forth about it. I tease him, and I think he might have heard this comment. Someone might have told him about the show, but Matt is a close hugger. Like, he loves the close hug, and then almost you're kind of like side face to side face sometimes,
like Jerry and his kid.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it on this show, and so this week, I don't know if it was planned or not, but right after the anthem, I kind of dap up Devontae, and then Randall, who always stands next to me, and then Matty's always waiting there with his his hand up, waiting for big high five, and it was more bro hug. It wasn't like the close hug, look at you kind of thing. So, hey, look, man, he's growing, he's progressing, and I love it.
Yeah, your relationship has been awesome to watch. I love that two-parter from AJ Journalism. I have one. It was great, by the way. It was great. I can't believe we didn't get anything out of him on the Russ I can't believe it. One note that I took here. Too quick. This is a two-parter. You held a play action. Awesome. You ought to play action I feel like that used to be a part of the game more. You hit that thing behind your hip, though, on the completion to Big Dog. Why does that not happen every single time? And is that something you take a lot of pride in? Because you held that, and I assume there's a chance you get blasted there on the other side. It turns into a big play with. Do you always do that? And Big Dog seemed to have a big-time weekend, and the commentators talked about how the entire sideline loses their shit when Mercedes makes a big play.
But that's for sure happens. The screen that he caught against Cincy and made a guy miss, kind of ran into a guy. That guy fell down and kept on going, hit a guy on the sidelines. The whole sideline was just going nuts. And that's just because everybody loves Big Dog so much. And he contributes so much, and it doesn't often show up in the stat sheet. So when it does, it's a big deal. But as far as that fake, I got to give credit to the man that taught me that fake, and that's none other than Alex Van Pelt. Played in the NFL, long time quarterback coach for me. Now he's coaching at Cleveland. Great human and really good teacher of the fundamentals of the quarterback position. But that's what he used to call the guitar fake. And we even used to watch film of him at Pitt when he was in college doing some of his fakes. And to be honest, I loved it. I loved adding kind of that element to my game. But so you just kind of let the hand go, and you put the hand down on the notch. And hide it down there. It takes a lot of trust because you can get totally rocked there if a guy just screamed upfield and drilled you. But the fake is usually pretty damn good. And as far as the action, because you're really sticking the ball in, letting the hand go, taking the eyes back to it, and skipping out of it. It's not one we do a whole lot. We might do it once every 2 or 3 games, but it was helped by the fact that we ran power, or par, as they say in Pittsburgh.
Power Donner. You're on Power Donner.
We ran power pretty effectively 3 or 4 times, and then we ran the fake off of the power. But big shout out to another Pittsburgh guy, Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah, shout out. And I can already see the news. Aaron Rodgers watched film of the University of Pittsburgh Panthers to work on his game, and he said power game was a big deal. I mean, that is going to be blistered all over Pittsburgh, but that's everything you do in your life. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Aaron, Sunday was awesome. Always a pleasure getting to watch you work in person. Listen, I don't want you to shit on the refs, but they were terrible on Sunday, and I think it was after you threw the touchdown to EQ. You were pleading your case out there. One guy called it OPI, one called it incomplete. One called it a touchdown. Is that the kind of thing where, after the game, ultimately it didn't matter, you guys won, but will you go talk to the refs and be like, hey, this kind of stuff can't happen, or does it kind of die when you're done talking to them?
Well, first of all, Ty, great to have you in the house.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really glad you got to be there. Appreciate you being there, and I'm sure you had as much fun or more than we did playing that game. But I will say this, the referees, again, they have a really tough job. They have a really, really tough job. They have to make split-second decisions, objective calls and subjective calls. And those lines are blurred even more by certain plays in general, especially the interior line stuff is so difficult. So they have a really tough job to do. And the scrutiny on them, because we have so many cameras on our field and slow motion capabilities, is at an all-time high. So they have a really tough job to do. In that situation, from my vantage point, it looked like illegal contact. And if you watch it back, EQ's running an out and up from the slot, and for sure there's illegal contact on the goal line. Then I throw maybe my best throw of the day, and he comes down with an incredible catch. A guy who was released from the team, signed back to the practice squad, thankfully, and has been such a great part of what we're doing and unselfish guy. My question was, first, how in the hell is that OPI? Because it didn't look like it. And then when you watch the replay back, there's no way it was. My second was, I've known the back jet for a long time, and I have a lot of respect for him. And I just want to know what he saw, because he said he didn't make the penalty, and he actually said he didn't get his feet down. So that was what I wasn't over there, yelling about an OPI. I wanted to ask him what he saw. He didn't think EQ got his feet down. And so that was enough for me to move forward. Like, they're going to make mistakes from time to time, and I think they have a really tough job to do. We all want them to be perfect. That's not realistic. We have measures in place to help them from time to time, but it is a really tough job to do.
It is very tough, and they are exercising that freedom and excuse a bit much, I think, at the moment, but hopefully they'll get it all figured out. I don't know who called you there. Hopefully it wasn't Roger Goodell telling you to stop talking about the refs. I think you painted a great picture there, because now it is time. It is something I look forward to every single week, Aaron. This is something that I never thought as a 34-year-old that this is something that I would be looking forward to, especially with the life that I lived. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for the 7th installment of the biggest, baddest book club on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another reveal of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club. Drum roll, please. At first, it was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, the Brazilian author with over 16 million followers on Twitter, put on a cheese head and said, Aaron, I appreciate you. Then it was Where Men Win Glory with Pat Tillman's story. It was amazing. Then The Giver, Be Here Now, The 4 Agreements, You Are the Universe was a bit dense, but the people cannot wait for week 7 of the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, which will be
none other than The Art of War.
Oh, Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu, yeah. It's I don't know, you almost, if I didn't know your history, I would guess you've actually read it by your excitement, but it's a book that I think most great leaders have read at some point. It's been around obviously for millennia. But yeah, it's a great one. I think it's an easy read, a lot of great wisdom in here, and one-liners that you can use in your life, and in press conferences down the road as well, and in speeches to your team when you're trying to fire up the boys, or AJ when you're trying to fire up Hendrix's flag football team. Definitely some good stuff in there. So The Art of War, I've been sitting on this one because it's such a special book, and it's been read by millions and millions of people around the world, maybe billions. But it's definitely one that every great leader or person striving to lead men and women should read at some point.
I appreciate and respect the book choice. I learned of it when Rick Ross used it as a bar, and I looked into it. Hey, you got to be where they don't think you're going to be, okay? Appear strong when weak, appear weak when strong. Go ahead and do your thing if you're going to be in the art of war. I cannot wait to dive back into that book. Thank you for having others do it. I think we're all becoming better people through the book club. We're becoming better readers through the book club, and I think we're becoming better thinkers. And that's what it's all about here, Aaron, isn't it? Isn't that what Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is all about?
Yeah, ultimately, but you just got to be here now. And I'm thankful we get to be here now every Tuesday.
Hey, no matter when we get to wherever we're going, and no matter when we were where we were at one time, we're always one thing. What's that? Right here.
That's right.
Let's enjoy this. I enjoy every Tuesday. Is it Tuesday yet? I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that the man who's the reigning MVP. Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Is this how we're doing it?
My sign. All right, Pat. See you, buddy.
No! Wait, I thought we were playing a song. That son of a bitch. Hey, art of war, dude. You got to be deceptive.
That's right.
You ever read that, AJ? I'm sure you have, actually.
Yeah, a while back. He's going to really throw you for a loop. Next week, there's a book called The War of Art as well. That would really put your brain in a pretzel.
Yeah, I assume it would. There's a lot of things that put my brain in a pretzel, including the fact that we get to have that conversation every single week with Aaron. We got to get to a break. We're back with reaction to the conversation, what we heard, what we saw, and maybe some more phone calls and such on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. We can't thank you all enough for tuning in, and big thanks to Aaron, man. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Love you, Aaron.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. Cheers. Out of Philadelphia is one of the biggest inspirations walking around the internet. Gio, the podcast. Okay, so you're 14 years old.
Yep.
You're from Philadelphia.
Yep.
Big time Eagles fan, podcaster. You were Carson Wentz's #1 fan.
Yeah. Yesterday, the 801 invited me, and Carson invited me to the game, and I got to go on the sideline and meet Carson again. And he gave me a football.
Let's go! Yeah! You're obviously full of energy, full of optimism, full of upbeat, good vibes.
Yeah.
What do you go through on a day-to-day?
I've had 20 surgeries in my life, so it hasn't been easy. I have a condition called SJS, short-stem syndrome, and it's basically like muscular dystrophy with dwarfism. My elbows are dislocated. My left hip is dislocated. I had to get my right hip reconstructed. The reason I'm so optimistic is because life is too short to focus on the negativity.
Let's go! I'm sorry to hear that you have to be tougher than all of us on the day-to-day, but I am so incredibly thankful that you keep that mindset. How'd you develop a love for football?
We've always been a football family, but then when I started having surgeries, I started watching football, and then I just kind of fell in love.
What does the rest of the season look like for the Indianapolis Colts, you think? Carson's going to keep himself safe out there?
Carson's going to have his best NFL season here in Indy.
Why is that?
He loves it here, and he's having fun. And when Carson Wentz is having fun, he plays his best.
Okay, and how about the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think they got a little developing to do with Jalen.
Are there any players that you'd like to get on your podcast?
Brian Dawkins.
Oh. Is he your favorite Eagle of all time?
Him, Carson, and Zach Ertz are my top 3.
Oh, Zach Ertz.
Damn, so sorry.
Yeah.
Why is everybody getting traded out that you like? What's the deal?
I don't know.
You're really, really good at this. What's the name of the podcast?
Philly Sports with Giovanni.
One last message to somebody out there who maybe doesn't view life the right way, you think?
I'd just say find your happiness and find the thing that inspires you, like I found football, and just try to look on the optimistic side.
Hey, you absolutely crush it every single day. You crushed it in here. We appreciate you. We hope you loved Indianapolis, Indiana. Come back whenever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, Gio the podcaster.
Yeah.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Hey, I feel like Aaron probably enjoyed today's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he when he wants to like set the record straight or get something out, yeah, then you know he's feels good about it.
If you don't mind, I would like to maybe talk about something. When he said that, I go, oh, here we go.
Yours.
I mean, I grabbed my green tea. I sat down. All right, I can't wait to hear what this was. That was an entire, thought, because that is a human who has been dealing with shit being said about him that, probably are half knows or maybe even quarter knows for his entire life. And it's like, you know what? I don't do it anymore because I'm just, I'm not really on my phone much. I'm kind of away, but I hear it. I'm not really in it. But this needs to be said at this point. It's like, all right, man, happy to hear you sticking up for yourself finally.
Well, it'd drive you insane if you actually did, try to set the record straight on everything that's being said. I mean, for a couple years there, he was just taking it on the shins from every which way, personal life, on the field, like all of that,
and he hated everybody.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Rightfully so,
He didn't say anything, but he was just like, all right, well.
I'll remember that.
All right. Okay.
I'll remember
What was that? All right. I don't feel like I have the time or the energy to answer all this shit, but I hate all of you. Yeah. That's all. That was literally the genesis of Aaron Rodgers Tuesday when I was talking to him in the Bahamas. I'm like, why don't we ever can we not just tell some people some of this stuff or whatever? He's like, I never wanted to do that or whatever. And then it kind of went into this. We are very lucky. I'm very thankful. And I appreciate his take on his Chicago statements. You know what I mean, AJ?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it was awesome. I didn't see any negative fallout. I know Chicago people, sure, even though they got to be upset, like, man, I wish our dude did that in Green Bay. Oh, yeah. Like whoever they have, they want to eventually get to the point where they can have a quarterback do that to Lambeau.
Well, and I think that was almost what Aaron was telling Justin, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, like this rivalry should be treated as if it is bigger than every other game because these fans, by the way, I don't know if you saw. Justin, I don't know if you saw. When I ran into the end zone, I was staring at 2,000 middle fingers. Yeah. Okay, so that is how these people, that is how it should be. That's awesome to hear. That's the type of thing that I hope continues to get passed down because that's great for the sport, that's great for the league, that's great for both teams.
Yeah, those are by far my most memorable Packers-Bears game. When the Bears were really good in the mid 2000s and the Packers were too.
Just kind of when they were.
Yeah. Well, seriously though, really since Rodgers has been there, it's still a rivalry. Yeah, but it's not once have I been like, oh shit, the Packers might get beat by the Bears today.
Let's go to the phones here. Let's go to John in Illinois. John on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off. John, are you a Bears fan, and are you under the ownership of Aaron Rodgers?
I'm in NFL prison, you guys. I'm a lifelong Packers fan that lives in Illinois. The only place I get to go watch the Packers is at Soldier Field. I'll tell you, the last thing Rodgers has to do is apologize to those fans. I wore my Rodgers jersey. I've lost track of time because of COVID. I think it was 2 years ago. They lost. And if you've ever been to Soldier Field, it's an 8-mile walk back out to your car. I heard some of the rudest, meanest, hey, 1-2, suck my D, the whole...
Whoa. He said that's my D.
Can't be...
He said that's my D.
That's it, Father Pat. We're out of here.
That's Chicago, baby.
Team off.
Tropics, let's go.
We go to church together. Not anymore.
I'm going to call. You need a phone to have it. Oh, man, I'm so sorry.
No, Jackie. Maybe your mom didn't go to heaven. That's it, Tropics, let's go.
Semi-Pro might be one of the greatest movies of all time. Oh, yeah. Does not get talked about enough, and I'm sorry that you had to take that from those rude, despicable Chicago Bears fans who screamed in unison, fuck you to Aaron Rodgers with their fingers.
I think I was there.
Did you throw your middle finger up, Zito? You probably did, didn't you?
No, I booed.
Dude.
Boo!
He did.
I did, yeah.
You had a hot dog in each hand.
Let's go to Kevin in Connecticut. What's going on? How many did you have, by the way?
I actually moved on to Italian sausages, so Polish sausages.
How many?
I ate like 8.
2 a quarter.
I saw Zeke maybe 6 minutes of the total game because he was just at the concession stand coming back.
Really?
He'd crush it, see a few plays.
That's good sausage.
I gotta go get
That's good sausage.
I was buying it from my seat.
Shocker of the century.
Yeah, 8 sausages in one Sunday.
They were so good.
And a loss like that.
Imagine if I would have won.
Jeez. Oh, victory stakes.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Whose car did you ride home with?
What do you mean?
Ties, I think.
No, walked home.
Oh yeah, Zeke actually had to walk deep back into the city and then go back out to the suburbs to get his car before he could go home.
Oh, that's sausage.
Seems like poor planning.
Long trip home.
It was good planning.
Just farting around Chicago.
It was good planning. Missed traffic.
Let's go to Kevin in Connecticut. Hey, great work, Zeke.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Kevin in Connecticut, what's going on?
Hey, Zeke, lay off the sausages, man. That can't.
You don't tell me what, dude.
Hey, Pat, AJ, boys, how's it going?
Great. How are you, dude?
Hey, I'm fantastic. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a huge fan, huge Packers fan, so absolute honor to be talking to AJ and have you pick up my call on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, best day of the week.
You too, Ty.
But hey, big question for you. So I don't know. I'm sure you know this. FanDuel and sports app betting went live today in Connecticut.
Let's go! Congrats to Kevin and all Connecticutans.
Yeah.
Connecticutans.
Hey, can I ask him a question?
He's off. Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, well, you guys may know. How long has the process been going on? Like, when did they start the process?
So they okayed it. It feels like weeks and weeks, maybe even months ago, and then it just seemed to have dropped out of nowhere. I got a lot of texts and tweets from people that had their same game parlays up, I think, last night or whatever. So congrats to Connecticut. Welcome to the party. Every game just got made better. Your big brain is going to be able to make profit for yourself as we go into this holiday season. You can watch youtube.com/hammer Dahn every Monday through Friday, breaking down betting and gambling and how you should potentially think about some games. We'll talk about it. I'm so incredibly happy for Connecticut, but I do believe it is quite a process. You're talking about like Ohio, because Gonzo hit an in-the-park home run in a congressional baseball game.
He did. Absolute laser in the gap.
One of the highlights. The team he played for won for the first time in 65 years or so.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the players on both rosters, it would make a lot of sense that neither team would win. And I don't think America won that night. But in that particular case, the team that he was playing for did win because he did have an inside-the-park home run. Shout out to him. But he said that there was some action that happened in Ohio legislature to get legalized sports gambling happening. And then we asked him when he was like, it's going to take a couple years or whatever. I hope that's not the case. Hopefully everything gets expedited just like it did potentially in Connecticut. And we can grow this thing and have a good time with everybody and, continue to build this team of money-making, rake-taking, cash-having sons of bitches attacking FanDuel. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, right? Before it's in every state. Do we just have to make sure all the right palms are greased before it gets sent through? How's it work?
I don't know if that's kind of like a negative connotation.
Not us, the high level.
But I do believe there is a lot of, we can get in there.
What do you think?
Greasing the wheels.
I believe there's a lot of that potentially going on. I don't know how many things are falling off trucks. I don't know how many Italians are potentially involved in the bags out of this entire thing. Probably a lot, if I had to guess, in a lot of different places.
That's how shit gets done.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're just hoping that shit does get done quicker for a lot of people. Shout out to Connecticut, though. Welcome to the party, man.
Yeah!
Great to have you. By the way, remember the Super Boost, last 3 have hit in football. So going into this weekend, we should feel fantastic. Same game parlay, Thursday night, risk-free, will hit.
Hell yeah. That's right.
It would be nice if we could get my wife's input. If she refuses, because that's how she wins. She doesn't say anything to anybody. At some point, let's hope she maybe starts saying some stuff. We've been one leg away multiple times of costing FanDuel millions of dollars in one clean sweep on a risk-free same-game parlay. This Thursday, it'll hit for you in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one Thursday, but
why?
Browns-Broncos might be a dud fest, depending on who's playing.
Yeah, Brownies are banged
Baker's
up.
planning on playing, though, right?
Well, Case Keenum might play. They said they don't know, especially with a short week, on whether it'll be Baker or Case. And then everybody on earth is like, well, Cam Newton's still out there.
Well, no Chubb, no Hunt. We know that for sure. And their run game is a big
I
part
wouldn't
of
worry
that
about it. I
offense.
mean, Case and Baker are basically the same quarterback. So
All right.
it's not
All
like
right.
crazy.
All right.
Louise.
Let's go to Nate in Ohio. What's going on, Nate?
It's true.
Maybe.
Hey, what's up, Pat? Great day to be a Mountaineer, wherever you may be.
Hey, let's go Mountaineers, Nate. All right.
Good. All right, so you covered this the first time it happened a couple weeks ago, but Myles Garrett just posted again that he went sleeveless for a game, and the next day got quote-unquote randomly drug tested.
Yeah.
Except this time it's on a piss test. They gave him the blood test for HGH. Is Tone Diggs working in the league office? What's going on with that, man?
Okay, Nate, great question. We've talked about this before on this show ad nauseum. That's AD space nauseum.
Okay.
They've never been random. Okay, maybe a couple of the tests are random each week, but a lot of them are, that doesn't seem to be natural, and then they'll go test people. This has been like a poorly kept secret for some time. Then there is a certain percentage of those randomly selected, which we already know, that have to do the blood test for the HGH test. I'm not sure how they pick who it is and what it is, but it seems like this might have been a happenstance, but he's definitely going to get tested more often if he continues to look the way he looks, I assume.
Yeah, how many times do they test him till they're like, all right, we get it. Like, you're just an absolute freak. We're going to stop testing.
I don't know. They seem to get a little,
Hey, what would he look like if he did get on some stuff?
Oh.
Well, I think that's what Roger Goodell keeps asking. And then Myles Garrett's like, no, this is just me, dog. Just because you look like, a bag of potatoes potentially, and a lot of people do. This is just me, all right? And I worked my ass off to get here, so maybe stop disrespecting me. And maybe Myles Garrett will take it as a form of respect eventually if he continues to have a good game and they test him, because that means they think what he's doing isn't natural. So we're a never-ending circle of all the shit that could potentially happen in the NFL, and we'll cover it every single day. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is coming to an end. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed on the other side of this 6-minute break. I promise his show will be better than ours. Cheers. Sorry, AJ. I wanted you to give a motivational speech to the serious listeners, too.
Yeah.
But then
I think we're good.
Well, explaining the random drug test thing it's not easy to do in 20 seconds, I guess. Because there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it in there,
I didn't know they were still testing for HGH.
Yeah, because nobody's ever failed for it, because all the player who potentially has a higher growth hormone level than everybody else has to say is, my body just creates more.
There's no baseline. Like, they don't have a baseline.
Didn't have a baseline whenever they were talking about testing for it. Didn't have a baseline when it was agreed to be tested for. And I'm sure they still don't have a baseline after years and years of getting sample tests on what the growth hormone is, because every human can just say, no, mine's different than yours is, dude. Because science has actually said that.
So is it theater that they're doing just to keep people quiet?
Oh, the old CYA. Oh, the old CYA IV. Go ahead and give us some of your blood so we can say we're testing for HGH, which we know we cannot fail you for because we have no fucking idea what a failed test looks like.
That's right.
Or they're collecting that blood, and they got other intents and purposes for that blood.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what happens on the internet.
I mean, that guy's legit. I guarantee you, I know plenty of NFL players that are worried about that.
Why are you collecting my blood and nothing is ever coming from it?
And you're going to put it on ice for the next 1,000 years, and then it can come back and get you 10 years down the road. They do that with Olympic blood samples.
Well, the Olympics had to change a lot because of that Icarus documentary.
Yeah.
That Icarus documentary really opened some eyes and maybe made me think, like, what tests are going on? Then you watch the Screwball Balco documentary, and it's like, wait a minute, what's going on with you? This is not what I experienced. I had a guy staring right at my penis while I was peeing 200 and some times in 27 months, every single time. I was like, what's everybody else doing? I have no idea how anybody else is getting around this shit.
All I heard from the caller was my name and piss test. Did he say that I was doing that, or that I like getting peed on, or I like staring at random penises?
All of it.
Okay.
I think it was an all-encompassing.
Only two of those three of those things are correct. So,
guy's 2/3 right. That's better than a lot of callers.
That's true.
Let's go to Briar up there in Illinois. What's going on, Briar?
Hey, not much, boys. How you guys doing?
Is your name Briar?
Yes, sir.
That's an awesome name, Briar.
I would have
Named
bet
after
the house
Patrick
on
Swayze movie.
a misspelling.
Oh,
really?
Which movie?
Actually, my name's Dalton Breyer. I'm named after.
Roadhouse. Yeah, man, Roadhouse.
Rips a guy's throat out in it.
Yeah, I only know Roadhouse because the Ron White joke about Roadhouse. You know about his story
Yeah,
about
Mom must have been a fan.
Tater Tot and everything like that. All right. Yeah, he does the whole thing. Yeah, Roadhouse jerk themselves, kick you out. Yeah. Is that what it is? Roadhouse is just a bunch of ass beating, huh?
Yeah, he's cooler.
Double deuce.
Are they bouncers or are they
He
security?
does Tai Chi
He's
too,
cooler.
though, by himself.
He just beats the shit out of people pretty much when big fights break out.
Well, that's what happens
Yeah,
at those
pretty much.
clubs. You got to watch some of those bouncers.
Oh, yeah.
They just get the green light to go knock people out.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze was doing that. Dalton Breyer.
Oh, yeah. Killing guys.
Swayze.
Jeez, good for Swayze, dude.
Legend.
All right, Breyer. What do you want to talk about, dude?
R.I.P. Swayze.
I was wanting
He's
to talk
dead?
about David Bates.
Oh, Breyer, hold on. Breyer, hold on.
He just died a couple weeks ago, I think, too.
Really?
Shut up, AJ.
Let's have a moment of silence, please, for Dalton Breyer.
He's alive.
Shut up, dude.
Patrick Swayze.
He played Dalton Breyer, right?
Yeah. He also
so you're
played
safe
Ghost.
for him.
You know what I'm talking
Well, he
about.
played Dalton and then Breyer, then a separate move.
He played Dallas
Next kid.
too.
And Ghost.
Lazy family over there.
You guys are fucking full of it. All right. I don't know what you guys are
He
saying.
also danced his ass off.
He was a great dancer in that dance machine show.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was based out of Pittsburgh, right?
No, that was Footloose.
Footloose.
Kevin Bacon.
Footloose.
That's based in Pittsburgh?
Anyways,
Connor, you know he smoked heaters? I figured you were a fan.
Yeah, obviously, dude.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. And
He's a
Swayze.
movie star in the
And
80s and
James
90s,
Dean.
yeah.
All right, let's have a moment of silence
James Dean.
from Patrick Swayze. All right, thanks, Swayze.
Thank you for that.
All right, Breyer, what do you want to talk about, dude?
All right, I was going to talk about David Baker and how he announced his retirement effective immediately. Do you think that's linked with all the emails coming out?
Dalton.
All about?
Dalton Breyer.
Aaron was just talking about this, right? Cancel culture.
Well, listen.
Do we know?
Cancel culture, okay, there's a lot of things considered cancel culture, obviously, because there's a lot of sex of the internet. And by sex, I mean SECTS, I believe, which is a bunch of different groups on the internet that potentially get pissed off about stuff. The thing that I'm referring to here is that if he wasn't caught up in that, the PR rollout of this was a bad idea. He's done this for 8 years. He could have done it, what, 3 more weeks? 4 more weeks? Something might have happened. Something must have happened. But the way it was announced, you couldn't help but humans with brains going, oh, well, this seems to be oddly timed.
Mm-hmm.
And
but don't you think even if these emails weren't like happening right now, it still would be like, okay, this is weird, right in the middle of the season? Like, I still feel like the timing would be odd.
I don't think so. I don't think people would have looked into it that much because he told us he wanted to do it for a long time. So maybe we would be like, well, Dave.
People still aren't looking into it, though. Are a lot of shows looking into this?
No, I don't think anybody is. It's kind of passive. But he's also what I'm saying is, though, a lot of the people that thought that, myself included, when he retired out of nowhere, especially amidst this entire thing, I think if we followed, he was in Pittsburgh, he was speaking in front of a microphone representing the Hall of Fame after all. He was on NFL Network this morning, I believe. He's still doing some stuff. So if there was something that was potentially going to come, you would think that they would have got rid of him immediately. So I'm thinking maybe something personal, definitely something personal happened out of nowhere. I'm not sure, but it was oddly timed, especially with the PR email situation going on that was terrible and devastating that was happening to the NFL, you know?
David Baker's allowed to speak. He's allowed to go do interviews, right? I would assume some people are reaching out to him.
He was on it. I mean, but he's on NFL Network, and he was on a podium in Pittsburgh. So what I'm saying is the NFL, after this, if this wasn't a, hey, you're going to retire type situation, which I think a lot of people immediately thought it was potentially going to be, I don't know if the NFL would let him, go speak on a podium at a stadium.
He was on Good Morning Football this morning.
Yeah, be on NFL Network. I'm not sure. Now, granted, there's been worse decisions made, like the rollout of a lot of decisions that were made in the NFL. But I'm just saying that has kind of eased it a little bit because if that was to come out eventually, those things. Remember, he was in Pittsburgh the day after this.
Yeah.
It would be an entire thing, you know. Like
he's fine then. Yeah, he's all right. They wouldn't if there was stuff out there coming out, they would never bring him in right now.
That's what I think too. Like I think the NFL would very much be like, all right, so something.
Good. I'm glad that giant human is going to be all right.
Something had to have happened though, right? I mean, something had to have happened.
But it's also weird that he retired effective immediately, and now he's doing like some big media run. So if it was something personal, like I mean, maybe he did just say like I can't fucking do this anymore and just quit.
It's incredibly hard to silence
mid-season.
an 8.5 foot man.
Yeah, big shoes to fill for whoever's coming
Because you're
next.
right though, the way they set it up, it's like, oh, this guy's got to be a piece of shit.
Yeah,
you know, like with all the email stuff.
Well, this is
coming
just
out,
like the Sean Taylor rollout.
Yeah.
Where it's impossible not to think like that. It's impossible not to. You're questioning our intelligence if you don't expect us to at least ask. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Playing devil's advocate, though, he was just in the show. He said he will never leave the Hall of Fame. Is that kind of like a red flag?
Yeah, that's what you're not playing devil's advocate here. You're actually on the side of what everybody said, which is something had to have happened, right?
Yeah. He might just be burnt out. I mean, he said he's been eating Burger King for every meal for the last
We did set up a
$8
$500 gift card.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, let's go to last call. All right. Hope everything's okay, obviously.
Who's going to replace him?
Big
Paul Bunyan.
Are there any 8-foot
Yes, there are.
men in
there
the
are.
world?
The Duke of Banquets in England who protects the Queen.
Yeah.
He could do it.
Maybe the guy on The Chase, another Englishman.
Oh, Beastie.
Beastie on The Chase, yeah. He's
John Taffer.
maybe
I was just
John
going to
Taffer.
say that, Diggs.
Odor. Figured you were.
Hey, is Bar Rescue still happening?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
What are you laughing about?
I'm just sad for David Baker. I wish he was still.
You're thinking of the next person. You're thinking of Siciliano sitting in his desk.
Oh, it should go.
The next person who is.
If they do the opposite,
his fridge is oversized. You know, the cabinets are a little bit higher. The desk sits high. The big ass throne seat. The next person comes in is going to get Siciliano. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're?
Did you by chance see Maurice Jones-Drew in London on Sunday
What is this guy's deal?
Because boy, oh boy, he's getting the Siciliano treatment. I'll tell you that much. It was despicable. I couldn't even look at the television. I had to turn the game off actually until the ball was kicked. Because man, they made him kneel down for the entire pregame. Basically,
that's the show. All right. All right. Shout out to MJD, by the way. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's a man. He's great.
Another Aaron Rodgers Tuesday here coming to an end. Hey Jay, what do you got to say for yourself here? Do you think?
I mean, why do you have that?
I just thought one time me and Aaron will pick up our guitars and we'll fucking make a smash, dude. You know what I mean? As soon as that thing starts, it's going to number one. I've seen some video footage of him playing at that open mic in Green Bay with old buddy or whatever.
Yeah.
It was actually shot on a potato.
It was, yeah.
So he couldn't really hear it, but he looked very confident as he was singing there with the hat and the whole thing. So I'm just waiting on the time. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting on the opportunity.
I mean, yeah, you guys could jam together, right? You seem to be a very high-level guitar player.
Yeah. Look at that shit.
You're like Ed Sheeran.
Sounds like fucking Dave Matthews.
Yeah, that's
Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you kidding me? That's a great compliment right there.
Hey, tell SeatGeek.
That's huge
Hey,
at the house, too.
Bieber's
That's gonna be big
coming to
house.
Columbus, Pat. I need SeatGeek to help me out here in like April or May.
To get the Beebs?
Yeah.
Good luck getting
You
those
remember
tickets,
back
dude.
in the day, like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, local radio stations, to get tickets, this is before the internet, they'd have these dads come down and race in heels to win. Like, completely, they'd completely, like, hey, how do we make this person as uncomfortable as possible to do whatever they will do for their daughters to get tickets to the Backstreet Boys or the NSYNC or their sons or anything like that? Why don't we do something like that? SeatGeek could probably do something like that for you to get you into Beeps.
Well, the tickets aren't for my kids; they're for me. I like the Beeps.
I like the Beeps
You know that.
too.
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
big
the best.
Beeps guy as well, by the way.
Yeah, I might let two of my kids come. Maybe I don't want them to ruin the concert for me.
Oh, you think their voices will be terrible, or?
Now, like, if it's Beebs, I need to stay through the encore and all that. When we take the kids, you usually got to bail a little early.
Hey, just so everybody knows, Beebs got bangers, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Always has, and he's been famous since he's 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He grew through some douchebag stages, I think we all saw, but what would you do if you were handed the actual world as like a 15-year-old with all the money? He started a management company, too. I think he was making money even when he was sleeping off of. I mean, he has been through it. It's nice to see him on the other side. Beebs is a hell of a story, I think, in the history of human existence. To be honest.
Yeah, absolute bangers. And all it took, Keyshawn Johnson just said, hey, you keep driving fast through the neighborhood, I'm going to fucking kill you. And that basically, Beebs changed after that.
Beebs was not seen for like 2 years.
Yeah. He was like, oh, shit.
Beebs went in his house, can't be driving anywhere anymore. Keyshawn Johnson's waiting at the end of the fucking block. I got need for speed, and Keyshawn says, slow the fuck down.
AJ, are you going to go alone?
What?
Are you going to go alone if you're not going to bring your kids?
No, but you know what? I could see myself going to a concert alone. I would do that.
I think I would too, by the way. It wouldn't be just me. It'd be me and Mary Jane. You know what I mean? I think if we get you a little doped up, you'd be in there having a good time, don't you think?
Yeah, again, like to start a mosh pit at a Bieber concert.
Why would marijuana make you start a mosh pit? That's a different drug.
I'm just saying the music. I would feel the music, and I would just, let loose and go.
AJ punching 17-year-old girls in the face in a mosh pit. What are you doing at a Bieber
up,
concert?
What's up, dude? It's too late to say I'm sorry.
Bro, I just wear headphones, though. Let the bodies in.
That's Beebs, bro. It's Beebs, dude.
Like, who's that grandpa going crazy?
No, everybody would know in Columbus. Look at that jaw. That's fucking AJ Hawk.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
Harry Styles called out a couple of dads in the crowd. You see that?
Yeah,
That was
tucked in
awesome.
shirts.
Yeah.
Harry Styles, another.
What did he say?
There was a couple of dads that were forced to be there, and he called them out and basically asked them if their shirts were tucked in and everything. They had golf polos on. They were. And they had a big moment. Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Gotcha.
I bet you the dads that were jamming.
They were.
Yeah.
Happy our kids a fan of somebody that's talented, not some of that other shit that's out there. You know what I mean?
Like,
Don't.
Who?
Talking about the Island Boys.
Talking Chet Hanks?
Wow.
Did you see it, AJ?
His cousins.
Hey,
His
Chet.
cousins,
Hey,
yeah.
there's beef in the streets of the whites being Jamaican.
Wait, who else did it?
Island Boys. They got 7. It's these 2 whites with dreads and either real tats or fake tats. Not 100% sure. I hope they're not, but
They certainly look like they are.
they're in a pool. One of them's wearing tights underneath some basketball shorts, and it's big. I mean, it's a banger of the fall. I think.
Twins.
Who are they?
Can we play the video? We can definitely play the video.
Yeah, you can
We
play
can
the
certainly
video.
play the video. There's no way that is.
Absolute butt babies. I'll tell you what. I said absolute butt babies. These 2 kids, they are scum of the earth.
What does that mean exactly?
You know what it means. They came out wrong.
They came out. Oh, they were pooped out?
Maybe feet first.
The Island Boy.
Yeah, you can definitely play it. There's, I guess maybe it might be
That
a
thing's
record
got
by now.
7.7.
Island boy.
Yeah.
It's got 7.7 million views. This thing. It's like the hottest song on the internet right now, to be honest with you. And it's these two doofuses in a pool. It's unbelievable. Sounds pretty good, pretty catchy.
Yeah, staring at the sun.
It's doing so well that the Toxic Table thought about potentially trying to face tat Mitt 30 times and have him.
I want to
talk.
scramble Mitt's brains, and I want to put him into one of these kids.
Let's play the banger of the fall thus far on the internet, Island Boy.
Cause I'm an island boy and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma get key white boy. I'm gonna keep that going. I'ma just stand at the side. I'm just a fool gazing. I'm like, cool where I'm staying. They're like, you wanna be famous? I'm trying to be out the greatest. I'm gonna fly and get a real damn chopper. I'm down on the topic. I'm an island boy. This song, yeah. Like a wild woman trying to make it to the top. I'm an island boy. I've been trying to make it. I ain't seen it with the gang, slang. You ain't just saying no name. Through the storm, through the rain. Cause we try home like a rain. From the island boy. Caribbean. Que yo soy cubano. I'm an island boy. My best song, yeah.
Wearing shorts in the purse.
My best song, yeah.
We got marker tats.
How heavy would those
on
Chicago
our
Bulls shorts
face.
be after you sat in the pool with them?
Yeah, very heavy. And he got tights underneath. He's got tights underneath too.
Wait, who are those people?
They're the Island Boys.
For real. This went viral?
Oh, man.
They
That's an
are
understatement.
viral. They are. The Island Boys are the internet right now. Dude.
Where do they live? Where is this?
They live wherever they on the internet.
On an island,
on
dude.
What do you mean? Urban Satin Gun. There's a third video.
He's
I
an
didn't know it was gonna be so
island boy in his chop house where
Motherfucking Tony did.
an island boy. He said he was down and pointed up at one point.
Yeah.
That was a good distraction.
Staring at the sun.
Good misdirection.
The
It
banger.
was pretty good. Anyway,
Can't believe I missed that on the internet.
I thought me and Aaron would potentially make that.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were going to potentially do because it sounds like the Island Boys. You just turn on the camera, they make bangers.
Yeah.
You know?
Who's filming? I want to know who filmed that.
I'm sure.
Chet. It was
Island
probably
boy.
Chet. It probably was Chet.
Yeah, that might be Chet's
Probably
management.
signed under his label.
Yeah.
Should be.
Rude Boy management.
Silent boy.
White shatas. I mean, it would be what a life.
AJ, dress your kids up as those kids for Halloween. Do that.
I don't know if a whole lot of people would know what's going on. But I
AJ
would.
Sunday.
Axel Hawk. No one's more upset than Foxy that we played that.
Yeah,
I
Foxy's so
fucking hate
pissed.
those guys
Why?
so much.
'Cause he's
you
85.
guys in that room bash the TikTok culture so much.
Bro.
And now when
the Island
we-
Boys and the Island Boys, Foxy hating, and the Island Boys.
I actually felt bad because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't judge these guys off this one video. And
Because
then I asked the boys.
Detroit
I said, hey guys, are these guys good guys? Because if they're good guys, I like them. And then they all said, no, they're absolute scumbags.
What do you think, Foxy? You think they're good guys?
Yeah.
Foxy, they're philanthropists.
What are you talking
The
about?
Island Boys. They're philanthropists. The Island Boys.
They drink their piss.
No, you don't want that beef.
Probably do.
Bro, the Island Boys. Anyways, this is just a tribute, dude. We don't know anything.
Can Foxy film their next video?
Absolutely not.
Whoa.
Foxy.
Absolutely
Foxy,
not.
if you get a
They're
music...
probably billionaires.
Yeah, but they're scumbags. If they're scumbags, I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't know if they're scumbags. We don't know enough about
You
them.
look like they're 12. How do we know?
Well, they do not look like they're 12.
You can't have 85
what are you
tats
talking
at
about?
12 years old.
Hey, in Ohio.
Yeah,
If you're doing that, if you're putting these videos out, I sure as hell think that you may have some parents that will let you get face tats as well.
Well,
You
that's
think
kinda-
they have
hold on,
parents?
Hold on. Whoa.
These guys were born inside of a coconut shell on an island somewhere.
You're right. They're Island Boys. They're just kind of gypsies, you know? Like
Yeah, exactly.
The island or whatever the case.
Staring at the sun.
But you should have heard. You should have heard the ideas that these dudes had. You know, because they saw the success of that video or whatever. They're like, they legitimately want to hold Mick down and just give him 100 tattoos.
Yeah.
And just tell him to do stuff. And it's like, I don't know if he has anywhere near the same amount of talent as the Island Boys. That's catchy out there, dude. It's catchy.
It's good.
All right, let's get out of here. It's a great way to end it.
I didn't know it was a cappella. Could be pretty good.
Hey, run that back one more time, just so we can respect it. Oh.
How can I do my hair?
Island boy,
Those are
and
dreads.
I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
See Rugrats?
I'm just island boy.
How old can that
I'm
kid?
just island boy. I'ma get key white grind.
Oh,
Keep
freestyle?
that gun.
Yeah.
I'ma just staring at the sun. I'm just a fool gazing. I'm like, pull where I'm staying. They're like, you wanna be famous? I'm trying to be out the greatest. I'm a Florida boy.
Florida boys,
Real
Florida.
damn tropic. I'm
Shocker.
like, down on the topic. I'm
Peninsula
an
boys.
island boy. Put my vest on, yeah, like a wagwan man.
Is that a
Tryna
fake
make it
porpoise in the
too
background?
tall, but I'm an island boy. I've been trying to make it. I ain't seen it with a gang sign.
Heavy
You
ass
ain't
shorts.
just ain't no kind. Through the storm, through the rain. Cause we try home like a lion. I'm the island boy from the
Corvette
Caribbean. Que yo soy cubano. I'm an island boy. Put my vest on, yeah.
Are they reading?
No, they
No,
don't
no,
read it.
They
That's-
can't read. Are you serious?
No, they can't. Hey, listen, these guys are good guys. Island Boys are on their way to the top.
They need to get on a track with fucking Yodel Boy tomorrow.
Yes. Remix.
Tomorrow.
Bro, imagine his fucking ass coming in. Island Boys! That's the show. We're back tomorrow. Be your friend, tell a friend.
Probably going to open for Biebs in May.
Oh, in
Wouldn't be
Columbus. Let's hope
surprised.
you get a chance to go to the show.
I'll try to get a meeting.
We're on the Bieber's tour. Just a bunch of island boys. We sing one song every night we go. Imagine just for an hour and a half. Island boys. That would be amazing.
Grabbing butts like Urban.
We're at the Chop House here. Finger gun in butts. Hey,
Satin gum, oh yeah.
just remix every
I'm glad I
single
did.
Imagine they went to Green Bay and they got to hang out with Aaron a little bit on tour bus like Bert. You know what I mean? Maybe. Or the Island Boys got Aaron Rodgers, the MVP of the NFL.
Hyped like
a football.
If they're in Columbus too, Bobby Carpenter running out on
General
stage.
Bobby Carp on the stage shirtless. He appears to be drunk, saying things he doesn't mean. We're an island boy. Yeah.
General Bob.
Yeah.
Save
He
the
saved football. Yeah. All right. We have
Bob will
to end the
tackle
show.
somebody like JJ did at that Zach Brown concert.
Yeah, that was real.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, that was great. What are you talking about?
Form tackle.
I mean, that was the
saved Zach's
biggest
life.
pot of shit I've ever seen in my life.
No,
was
that
not
guy-
You
real.
saying fugazi? No. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Football Rules Mike. Mike Pereira. Use hashtag What's that? I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, come on.
Yesterday, nunchuck glasses was trending, and I felt that was an abuse of hashtags, so I will not do that anymore. Are we picking the winners of nunchuck? Yes.
We picked a couple. We have not sent the messages out yet, though.
And then PMS Jimmy's 50, we got like 30 of the winners. We need to pick 20 more of that thing. There's a lot of rollout. We appreciate you. Mitt will go through all the hashtag FanDuel is from Sunday contest. We've already given out like $50,000 cash with that, over 250 shirts, I think maybe 300 shirts. Wow. Mitt does an incredible. Hey, Mitt.
Hey, that'll make me better.
Now shave your head and get a bunch of tattoos.
Mitt's
scrolling. I'm an island boy. Put my vest on ya.
Yeah. That's not easy work, by the way.
No, is that why Gumpy wore a vest today?
I didn't see he took it off because he's a fugazi. Whoa! Hey, who's bigger, Hezbollah or Island Boys?
Hezbollah is at the top, my friend.
All right.
Yeah,
If they collapsed, the world would end.
We're with Hezbollah.
We got this can you mute my mic real quick? I don't know if this person.
You might need it.
Hezbollah.
Is everybody muted? Why'd you mute the whole room?
Yeah, everyone's muted.
I'm going to be an adult and not break it until tomorrow when I get a follow-up to say if I'm allowed to break the news that I just heard right there.
Yes. Your mic was off. We only caught the last end of that. What happened?
Shut your mouth.
I'm an island boy. Keeps his secrets. Very loose, actually. I'm terrible at secrets. I'm a bad guy. Find out tomorrow if I break that news or not. We'll see.
Okay. I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat.
How'd today's show go, you think?
Great. I don't know. I'm in the moment, man. I don't sit there and I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, me neither. We talked baseball.
Yep. NBA.
We talked football.
Golf.
I can't wait to go back and watch that Urban Meyer little 5 minutes at the end of hour 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot
cannot
about that.
wait.
Stern but fair. Everything has to be. That's what the show will continue to promise to be. Hammer Dahn will be in 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer. Dahn! If you would like to enter the nunchuck glasses contest, there still has to be some more winners picked. You could probably sneak in the back door here. We're giving $2,599
No
winners.
pun intended.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on.
What?
What's the pun?
He said the pun for the back door for Urban.
Don't sneak in the back door.
Oh, see, this show stinks. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Thank you for everything and everybody. Bye.